It's on Sport Extra, 1, 2 or 3. We have brilliant live sport, a day of finals. As Mika Kelly says to Finn Smith, let's go to work. Smith with a little dropout. Bordeaux make a meal of it. Northampton right on it. Paul Grayson talking earlier about the kickoff and what Northampton could do from that. Well, they've won the ball back and they've got field position as Mitchell finds the man of the moment, Henry Pollock. It is idiosyncratic headband and they drive a little bit up to the 22. Here's Alex Coles, an injury doubt, as the noise from the Saints fans rings around the Principality Stadium. Northampton ball of the 22. Mitchell to the left to the big tight head from Newcastle. Now at Northampton, Trevor Davison. He trundles into the 22. Pollock, nice ball out the back. Finn Smith, Dingwall, they could be in here. Furbank, good ball off his left. Out to Rory Hutchinson, who's one-on-one with Bielbiarri. Decent tackle from the youngster, but still in Saints possession. And they drive on again up to the 5-metre line almost. Mitchell out to Davison. He's carried a couple of times already, the big tight head. There for Mitchell. Brilliant start. Manny Ayogun. Oh, well read, Jalabert. But they might be offside. They are offside. Penalty Saints. Decision to make early on, Grace. Mitchell's going quickly. He is going quickly. Alex Mitchell. Bumped by Luku, but they weren't 10. Northampton bringing the tempo, bringing the energy to Cardiff. 5 metres out, 15 in from the near touchline. Mitchell finds his skipper Dingwall. That's a decent bust. He's a couple of metres short. This is where Saints so often strike. Finn Smith into Moafana, under the crossbar. Mitchell to the right. Curtis Langdon up to the line. No signs of that stinger. Oh, it's another penalty coming. Mitchell dummies. He couldn't be much closer. It's inches in it. As Freeman plays a dummy half, out to Coles, who's up to the line. And I think he might have got it down. He has. The cries from the Northampton players, and then the roars from the Saints fans. When we talk dream starts to a final, you talk about Northampton here.
Change the picture from the kickoff, go short, immediately put the pressure on. Coleman and Kazo made an absolute horlicks of it. We had 5 minutes of fireworks and flares in the build-up to the game. Very often you kick off and it lets you down. Well, we've had 2 minutes of rugby fireworks from Northampton there. Note perfect in transition. As soon as they won the ball, they got into their shape, punched a couple of holes in the Bordeaux defence, and then had the heft to get over the line. What a start!
And virtually no celebration. A few handshakes, a wander back to the halfway line. That was machine. That was robotic from Northampton under extreme pressure in the first 2 minutes. 0 mistakes. Great body height, clear out, positional play, so coordinated, and then just regroup, score the try, regroup.
Well, is there a change already? 11. James Ram, is he coming off? And Ollie Slightholme on. We'll just get the information. Yeah, Ram's limping off already. Oh, poor guy. A couple of minutes into the final. But Ollie Slightholme's back from injury. But they can't afford to empty their bench too early, the Saints. As Jalabert kicks off. It was shades of England in that World Cup semi-final, wasn't it, guys? But it's the relentlessness, the 2019 game being the All Blacks, the accuracy, the relentlessness. Not accepting anything but a 7-pointer. Try Alex Coles, conversion Finn Smith, but James Ram off, Ollie Slightholme on. It is all happening in Cardiff 3 minutes in.
He did so well in the semi-final, James Ram. He had a couple of wobbles early on, but then played a pivotal role in Northampton getting into this final.
Bordeaux now with some possession. Luku swings it out there. Porter Jalabert. Little kick through is asking questions of Furbank. They want this to go out. Oh, good kick, Jalabert. Furbank has to run it out. And Bordeaux with a 5-metre line now. We might be going tit for tat today.
Yeah, Bordeaux done their homework against Northampton. It looked like there was potentially a little intricate play being forced upon Northampton. Therefore, Furbank had to just be a little bit edgy and watch that wide ball. Got slightly flat. Ball in behind, and he wanted to watch it roll out, but ball beat him.
Lamont to throw for Bordeaux, 5 minutes out, 1 in the line now. They didn't compete, they peel away. Oh, inside to Bielbiarri. Little set move from Bordeaux. They come to the left. Pete Samu, the Wallaby. He's a metre or two short. Good defence around the fringes by Northampton, who lead by 7. On this day of finals on 5 Live, the BBC Sport website, across BBC Sounds, and all our live sports streams, as Luku just marshals the traffic around the breakdown. They're really close here, Bordeaux. Jefferson Poirot is in there to add his weight. That couldn't be much closer, could they? The French side trailing by 7, but right back on the Northampton line. Maybe Northampton have held Bordeaux up over the line. If it comes back, it does for Bordeaux. Good tackling coming in. Luku's going cross-field. Tester here for Furbank. Oh, I think he's just about got to it. Then it's loose. There's going to be a penalty, is there? What's gone on here, Paul Grayson?
Furbank looks like he's hurt himself in that collision in the air. Some of the players played on. Referee desperately trying to get through to the noise levels here. They couldn't hear the whistle. That's got to be a concern. George Furbank flat on his back on the floor. Good kick from Luku, crossfield, reminiscent of Antoine Dupont from 9. It's a straight challenge. Oh, Furbank's got hit. I think he's got hit in the face.
Over, didn't he?
Oh, he's got kneed straight in the face.
Furbank's just gone to get up.
It's just a rugby accident.
Let's have a quick listen.
Catches him in a knee accidentally. Yeah. Okay.
That's just
accidental, no penalty. We go back for advantage.
Yeah, I think Furbank just, and it was a fair, well, it looked a relatively fair challenge, ball in the air, but as Furbank went to get back up, he is right in the centre lane.
That collision,
for Bordeaux to run through him, need him square in the head. That's never a good sign when someone goes as limp as George Furbank did right there. Not good.
Yeah, that's going to be the end of Furbank's afternoon. As you guys say, it wasn't the initial challenge in the air, was it? It was Buros following up, and the officials have immediately called it as a rugby incident, rugby accident. So even though Furbank's afternoon is over, there won't be any action taken against Bordeaux. There is a penalty for Bordeaux. Advantage was being played, but we just got to spell out here, Paul Grayson, the damage that has already befallen Northampton. That's Rahm and Furbank off within the first 5 minutes.
Nightmare start. Perfect in terms of scoreboard in their first actions with the ball, but in that passage they've lost James Ram from the wing, and then in the very next passage a Bordeaux attack, George Furbank is a goner for the afternoon. I hope he's okay. That was a really average looking accident. So Tom Litchfield is on, Ollie Slightholme is on, no fullback. I don't know which way they're going to rejig their backline, whether Litchfield comes into the centre and Hutchinson drops to 15, but that is massive stress on their backs and the way they can play.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke to him about adversity. There is always going to be adversities in these types of games. I mean, we really do not want to see people getting as injured as potentially Furbank is at the moment. But this is going to show some incredible character from this Northampton side so early on with 2 big changes.
Okay, so Furbank, the stretcher is coming out. They'll take all the time they need to get George Furbank off the pitch. Let's go to Trent Bridge. Got a wicket, Ellie.
Yes, another wicket. Tafadza Seeger out for 4, and another victim for Shoaib Bashir, who's taken 3 in this innings as he did in the first innings. Certain amount of confusion because it looked like it had gone all the way through. It was not taken by the wicketkeeper Jamie Smith. Ball was running down to the boundary, and then somebody pointed out that the bail had dropped off. So he was bowled, Seeger, and Bashir has his 3rd wicket. And Zimbabwe 218 for 6. They are still 82 runs away from making England bat for a second time. But Blessing Muzarambani is the new batter. Not sure whether we will see Richard Narangava, who got injured on the first day. So it could well be that England only need to take 3 more wickets to win this Test match. 218 for 6.
And over on Sports Extras, where you can find out if Zimbabwe are going to make England bat again. Thanks a lot, Ellie. Back with you shortly. Let's go to Sarah Orchard. We're high up over the halfway line on this side of the ground, but Sarah, you're right by the tunnel where I imagine there's a load of commotion.
There's been so much activity down here. Of course, first we saw James Ram have to leave the field. He was supported by 2 Northampton medics. He limped down the tunnel, and then within a minute we've seen this injury to George Furbank. Now the Northampton doctor, Kath Lester, she was actually dealing with James Ram. I've just seen her run back out of the tunnel to go and help out now with George Furbank, who's still being put on the stretcher at the moment. As you understand, there's hugely concerned faces around the Northampton Saints technical area, but their coaching staff half. They're actually further higher up in the gods, where they've got a better vantage point from where I am down here low. So we can't actually see where they are at the moment. And I'm actually right in front of where all the Bordeaux players are currently sat round now. Plenty of conversation going on. They're about to go out for a warm-up in a few moments' time. But this has been a long pause. We still haven't even played 5 minutes in the game, and it looks like they're putting George Furbank onto the stretcher right now.
Thanks, Sarah. Yeah, a round of applause and a lot of fans getting to their feet to applaud George Furbank off the pitch. I've said poor guy by James Rahm, same story for Furbank. Worked so hard to get back fit, as Phil Dowson was telling us pre-game. Got a plate in his arm, got a protective case on his forearm after breaking it in December, aggravating it on his return, and he's only played 5 minutes. Let's really hope that he's okay. George Furbank off, James Rahm off. A dream start in terms of what they've done with the ball, Northampton, scoring that Coles try, going 7-0 up. But Bordeaux are now pressing, and Saints have lost 2 players. What a Herculean effort it will take for Northampton to win it from here, Grace.
Yes, so tough with the disruption that you're facing, the reorganisation. But for George Furbank, who's worked so hard to get over that terrible arm break to get back, that's just a shocker for him.
What a Bordeaux got. They throw to the front. Nice snappy looking maul from the French side. Northampton repel it pretty well though, so that maul has come to an end. Luku digs for it. He flips it out to Samu again, then good leg drive. What a great drive that is. Only a metre or so out now, Bordeaux. Luku's got options to the left, but instead he goes right to Jalabert. Jalabert short ball, they've got numbers, they're queuing up. Damien Penaud walks it in. That's what Bordeaux can do, they're on the board.
Yeah, all came from the power up front though, didn't it? Because you're describing from that line out. Clever little line out that Northampton reacted really well to, but there's the ability to recycle the ball. Northampton can't slow this ruck speed down, and when you've got big fellas running at pace, running at low height, really difficult to put down. Speed a ball, and then within 2 or 3 passes, bang, bang, bang. It's just a strolling. Bordeaux have made that look so simple, but that's just a flavour of what the disorganisation that is occurring with Northampton right now, just people in and out of positions.
Here's Jalabert to level the scores. It's hit the post. So Northampton do still lead, but Paul Grayson, big warning signs there of Bordeaux's potential when they move the ball.
Yeah, Samu got a good drive. He got into the heart of Finn Smith, managed to get 3 or 4 yards forward. They left all their forwards on the short side, which meant Northampton didn't fold any defenders, and then Luku went wide to the right. Nice, cute little finish from Penaud with the inside step.
And a cute little drop-off from Finn Smith that is back in Bordeaux possession. So as Luku digs for it off slow ball, seems an opportune moment to go to Wembley. Aaron Paul, you're minutes away from the big one in the Championship playoff.
My word, what an atmosphere here at the National Stadium, particularly from the west side of Wembley Stadium, where it's red and white everywhere. Sunderland fans have travelled in their numbers. We saw a huge tifo unfurled from the west end of Wembley, which says we will fight till the end. Reggie Slabrese's side hoping to return to the Premier League for the first time in 8 years. Up the other end, there are empty seats across the Sheffield United part of Wembley. Still plenty of atmosphere from the Blades, but they're looking for an instant return back to English football's top table. We will be underway in 3 or so minutes. Of course, this one kicking off at 1 minute after 3. Sheffield United against Sunderland in the Championship playoff final.
Thanks a lot, Aaron. Back with you. What a game that always is in the football calendar. A place in the promised land of the Premier League will be won by either Sheffield United or Sunderland. The Scottish Cup kicks off shortly too in the next couple of minutes. Ailey Barber, Pat Nevin there for us. Aberdeen Celtic, commentary on Sports Extra 3 on your BBC Sounds app. At 5 o'clock we're in Lisbon with Vicky Sparks and Izzy Christensen for the Women's Champions League final. There's the Monaco Grand Prix qualifying over on Sports Extra 2, the test match as we were hearing from Ellie. So it is all happening across BBC Sounds, 5 Live and all our audio streams. And it's all happening here in Cardiff. A knock-on has given Northampton a scrum, Paul Grayson and Matt Dawson, a chance for them just to try and calm down. They've got to be thinking about those injuries and somehow need to find a way for it not to affect their confidence.
Yeah, that's what we touched on in the build-up, and Dorse spoke so expertly about the ability now to reset, refocus. Okay, here's the adversity. Now what do we do? Well, scrum time's a positive opportunity.
Yeah, and that's a positive scrum from Northampton. Mitchell to the left, Finn Smith, little kick through, and Bordeaux, they gather it really nicely and then set it up in between the 22 and the 10 metre line, back from Luku to Jalabert, who's got a giant boot. I think Tommy Freeman might have gone to fullback. Paul Grayson, he's been so dangerous on the wing and carved up, bringing the centre. Chips for himself. Nick Amishakeli, the ref, didn't want to know. The Northampton fans disagreed. So there for Bordeaux, Luku sees some space. Ollie Slightholmes looking at Bielbiarri. You kind of wanted him to focus on the ball a bit, but it dribbles out of play. Northampton ball, 30 metres from their own line, as England move closer to victory at Trent Bridge. Ellie.
222 for 7, Zimbabwe. Bashir takes a 4th wicket, catch by Joe Root to dismiss Muzrambani for a duck. Only 2 more wickets to fall at Zimbabwe, because they have a batter still out injured. 222 for 7, they're 78 behind.
Curtis Langdon preparing to throw. And into the middle of the line out, he finds the open side, Josh Kemeny. As Yogan sets it up for Northampton, or Yogan joined the ruck to help out his forwards. As Bielbiarri takes it just inside the Bordeaux half, and it could be away again here through Buros. Bang on the sponsors logo on halfway line. Poirot, Jalabert kicks for himself. They've seen space, haven't they, there, Bordeaux? I think Jalabert lost that forward, so Mitchell hurls it to Finn Smith. They might look to play here on the counter-attack. On the turnover, Tommy Freeman almost through, just short of the 10-metre line in his own territory. Bordeaux with a huge counter-up. Proper physicality from the French. But there was a knock-on by Jalabert, so will be a scrum to Northampton. Let's go to Hampton. Aberdeen Celtic about to get underway, or maybe it's got underway, Ailey Barber.
We are underway in this Scottish Cup final. It has been a cacophony of noise in the build-up to this one. It might seem one-sided in terms of the build-up, but to my left, a sea of red as the Aberdeen fans have packed out Hampden Park once again to see if their side can lift this Scottish Cup for the first time in 35 years. They are up against a really, really strong Celtic side who are looking for a 3rd domestic treble in 4 seasons under Brendan Rodgers, a 9th in total, and it has been a pretty even start to things here. But this Celtic team have just had a little tally up of their starting 11. The 10 outfield players have scored 107 goals between them this season. There are goals everywhere. The front 3 have 20 plus each, so a huge test for Aberdeen. Still goalless though.
Thanks a lot, Ailey. Scrum Northampton over on Sports Extra 3, by the way, for the Scottish Cup final, Aberdeen Celtic. But Ailey Barber and Pat Nevin keeping us up to date as Alex Mitchell finds Finn Smith. Short ball to Dingwall. Dingwall is bundled out of touch, and Bordeaux go quickly. This game is not stopping. Moefana from Bielbiarri's pass. He finds Luku, and Luku dribbles it down the touchline. Or Finn Smith, did that go backwards? No, says the referee. So one of those mistakes that you don't see Finn Smith make week to week, but in a final it's all a little bit different.
Yeah, just the Bordeaux kicking game is clever, very clever. Just the variety of kick from Luku, from Jalabert is stretching Northampton and really testing that second line of defence. Little chips over, grubbers through like that occasion. It's really making Northampton think. Brilliant play.
Yeah, fans groaning because on the replay the ball clearly went backwards off Finn Smith's hands, but more of a rugby league decision that if you fumble the ball it's a knock-on, get on with it.
The voice of Paul Grayson, the hero the last time and only time Northampton won Europe's premier competition, back in 2000, kicking all the points. Matt Dawson, a key part of that Northampton squad too. Both with us in commentary on 5 Live. Let's see what Bordeaux can do from here. There's been developments at Wembley. We'll go to Aaron any second now, but Luku finds Jalabert. You've got to keep an eye on Bordeaux from these kind of positions. Bielbiarri's lurking and he's off his wing and he's linking with Penaud. Penaud inside. Oh, what a try. What a score that is. Bielbiarri off his wing. If Penaud doesn't get you, Bielbiarri will. And they've gone in again, Bordeaux.
All the tricks there. Jalabert feinted to kick. and then still had the time to get his pass away. Once the ball had gone out the back to Biel Barrier, and he'd got on the outside of Tom Litchfield, he's just got too many wheels for him, which means your last man, Freeman, has to step in on the outside. He can't do anything else. Penno takes the ball, might get cut off in the corner, pass back on the inside. Biel Barrier stayed on his feet. Hint of the forward, not for me, but we'll see now.
Well, they're looking at the replay. You kind of wonder whether the Northampton guy's just got to take Biel Barrier out with the tackle or something.
He definitely should have done, yeah.
To stop him linking up again. But Matt Dawson, once they go to a replay, it's one of those that you think there's a chance it could be ruled out.
Yeah, we'll probably see a few angles here, because certainly live it didn't look too bad, but on the replay I think the 22-metre line is going to not play a decent part for Bordeaux, because Biel Barrier passes it exactly on the 22-metre line, and Penno takes it 3 yards forward, so it's totally exaggerated and makes it a very easy decision for the referee, because the evidence is there for everyone to see.
Kind of try that without the TMO gets given all the time, doesn't it? And then on replay it looked a bit dodgy, and Northampton survive. Right, Sheffield United Sunderland, what's been happening in the early stages there, Aaron?
0-0, huge chance for Sheffield United though. Gus Harmer robbing the ball off the Sunderland fullback, able to turn, look up, get onto his better foot, whip the right-footed cross in. There was Kiefer Moore, trademark header, good, strong left-handed save by Anthony Patterson, but it's come at a cost. Luke O'Nien of Sunderland is down. He's been down for 3 or so minutes, and it looks as though he may have to come off. He's getting some treatment at the moment, is O'Nien, the Sunderland centre-half. It is Sheffield United 0, Sunderland 0.
Yeah, that'd be a big loss if he was to go off. And the injuries here, just if you're just joining us, Northampton lead 7-5. Bordeaux second try disallowed, but Northampton have already lost Ram and Furbank out of the contest within 5 minutes. Pollock came off the base, Jalibert knocked it on in the tackle, Northampton hack it clear. Back goes, what a kick that is actually. Buros is in his own 22 now. Is he going to run it out? They've got to take him out, Northampton. He links with Deporter, who's tackled by Freeman. Good territorial game this by the Saints, although it is in Bordeaux possession. Jalibert came from the right to the left, and he's making mischief from a Northampton point of view. Biel Barrier with that left boot, he's almost away. Freeman's got him just about. Dingwall's on that ball. Has he got it back there, Fraser Dingwall? It might be in Saints possession, but that is going to be some contest. I know Freeman might have to cover fullback a bit today, but Louis Biel Barrier has already shown why he is one of the hottest properties in the world game at the moment. Saints possession inside their own half, but with a solid platform from which Alex Mitchell can kick into the box. Buros takes it, not under great pressure, but he's well tackled by an on-rushing posse of Saints players. Luku, this clever kicking game Matt Dawson was talking about, but that's brilliantly read by Alex Mitchell. What's he got up his sleeve? He wings it to Freeman. Tommy Freeman, oh, huge pass from Freeman out to the far touchline.
Bags of space in the backfield of Bordeaux there, where Northampton could have slid the ball in behind, really put Bordeaux under pressure close to their line.
Mayan Avanua sets it up for Northampton. Nice little switch play as Northampton continue to ask questions with the ball in hand, as we knew they would. In between the 22 and the 10-metre line, lightning fast ball. Finn Smith out the back, it comes again. Hutchinson, so much skill, beautifully weighted kick, turning Buros around, line out. Bordeaux only 5 minutes from their own line. Matt Dawson.
Yeah, there will be a little break here. But Northampton's second row Lockett got his neck in the wrong position going into that ruck. But Northampton, I mean, from that first 2 minutes, I know, of course, there is a difference there with take it, well, they're not even stopping. Carry on, jouer, as they would say.
Bordeaux have gone. This game is not stopping.
Tackle.
Far from the injuries and the break in play for that. It's just been frenetic, played at breakneck speed as Luku digs for the ball. Jalibert is shaping to kick, but you kind of wouldn't trust Bordeaux just to clear. It feels like they could go from anywhere, as could Northampton. Ollie Slightholme, Tommy Freeman on the spot. A space here for Northampton. They could be outside. Here goes Litchfield, couldn't quite get away. but there is space in this Bordeaux defence, Paul Grayson, for Northampton to exploit.
Yeah, and they're happy to go looking for it. Really crisp, accurate passing. Finn Smith worked his socks off to get back there to be in an opportunity to counter-attack.
Working the blind side now, Finn Smith short to Tommy Freeman. There are a couple of men over for Northampton. There's been a turnover in there, knocked on Northampton. Bordeaux scrum.
Yeah, it's definitely the play, isn't it, for Northampton? Just having a nick down those short sides, using the 15 metres down that short side to go through some hands, just to put some pressure under the on these enormous Bordeaux forwards. But it is about work rate. Northampton can only play that way if every single player works their socks off to get there, and Finn Smith was a great example, sprinting himself back into position.
We've just seen those last two scrums. Bordeaux, when they thought they'd scored their try, just nudged Northampton backwards a yard. And the last one on Northampton's put in, Pollock did well to get away from the base as it crumpled. Bordeaux's head and feet here. Northampton could be under pressure.
Northampton 7, Bordeaux 5, 18 minutes gone, 5 live, BBC Sport website, BBC Sounds app. The scrum has sort of disintegrated. It is in Bordeaux possession, but it's kind of tit for tat in that area. Penalty as Northampton don't release the tackle man, so a bit of respite for Bordeaux to go back into Saints territory.
Henry Pollock, I mean, we spoke about it before, is someone going to get hold of Henry Pollock at a certain time in this game, because the break off that scrum, he gave a pretty ropey pass, then he got stepped and missed a tackle. He's just given a penalty there, and that will be all because of the pressure that is building, because Northampton are not quite in their stride. While we spoke about it earlier, it's enormous burden to carry, because you want Pollock just playing the way that he does.
Yeah, big responsibility for him switching from 7 to 8, but the Saints are a bit patched up. It'd be heroism of the highest order if they're seeing this over the line. They lead after 20, but Bordeaux, every time they have the ball, are probing and posing questions and moving into the Saints 22. And Luku sees Poirot. Coles, for a guy who was touch and go to players, having a huge first quarter. But they're coming in waves, Bordeaux, with Jalibert at the centre of it, in collaboration with halfback partner Luku. They're trying to get to Jalibert, but he's got it to Bielbiarri, who's got outside, and there's that little kick through from Bielbiarri. Across goes Freeman, but all he can do is run it out, and Bordeaux will have the line out just 6 metres from the Northampton line. Freeman covering full back because of this disruption to the Northampton back line. Furbank off and James Rahm off, and Sarah Orchard, you're right by the tunnel, you've seen the players come and go.
Yeah, I can tell you Bordeaux, they're about to make a change as well. So many changes, but I can see Artois Retier. He's just in front of me at the moment, just waiting to see what player he's actually coming on for, because we can't see any obvious injury to any Bordeaux player at the moment. I can confirm that James Rahm, who went off for Northampton in just the opening 3 minutes of this fixture, he's come back out of the tunnel. He was on crutches and he was wearing a left protective boot. So he's back out, he's joined his teammates, but we don't have an update just yet on George Furbank as Retier comes onto the field.
Yeah, he comes on for Buros, and they're 6-2 here, Bordeaux. So it's not as if they're flush with options in the back line themselves on the bench. Oh, they've gone backwards, says the referee, and Jalibert's wriggled away, and he could be in here, Jalibert. Oh, amazing run from Jalibert, a beautiful ball out, try in the corner for Bordeaux. Oh, how Jalibert done that. Incredible stuff from the Bordeaux and France fly-half. Adam Coleman is the man who finishes it off in the right touchline, but it's made by the brilliance of Jalibert.
It's like watching the Harlem Globetrotters there, wasn't it? In amongst so much traffic, Jalibert, I don't know whether he was stepping left and right because he was so scared, or whether he actually saw where the support was, but eventually he throws the most wonderful looping and it looked like it was a little free throw. Brilliant individual skill from Jalibert.
Tell you what, from the set play, Moefana dropped the ball. If Finn Smith's was a knock on in the backfield, so was Moefana's, because both balls clearly went backwards, but it was play on this time. Jalibert found a chink of light, delivered a sublime pass.
Yeah, talking of sublime, he bangs over the kick from the touchline. It's kind of a two wrongs don't make a right situation, but Northampton will feel aggrieved that if Finn Smith's the knock on, why is Moefana not? Anyway, Bordeaux lead 12-7, 21 minutes gone.
Yeah, playing with that everything's possible approach that they've talked about Jalibert there, he's going looking for something. Let's try and find anything. He could have just tucked and run, set up a ruck. Not in their mentality.
Oh, it's just not stopping because Northampton have already gone. But let's check in at Hampton, Aberdeen Celtic. Scottish Cup final, Ailey Barber.
Still goalless here. Celtic really beginning to dominate possession, but that back five that Aberdeen have set up with are causing problems. They can't find a way through. We still wait for our first shot on goal in this cup final. It is still Aberdeen 0, Celtic 0.
Saints attacking down the left, can't quite get it through the hands. That was Kemeny, but they're inside the Bordeaux half. Bordeaux working hard on the floor, but Mika Amashikeli, the Georgian referee, happy that no misdemeanor was committed. There for Finn Smith out the back, and then this is the thing. Speaking with Sam Bestie in the week about a final and how things can just break down, balls can go to floor, and how Northampton don't go off in the, as he described it, as a tangent of frustration. Bordeaux fans thought it was knocked on, but Nick Amashikeli saying play on, and then almost lost the game by Hutchinson.
No hands, no!
And is this where Saints need to use their boot a little bit, guys? Because, they've got a penalty, just as I say that. So keeping in the hand working as Mitchell snipes and tries to get away.
Yeah, I'd cut your losses and take the pen now.
Well, is that the Northampton way? They're still playing, and then it's been lost again, and they will take the penalty. But a team that prides itself in its connection, not quite there, but it's only a 5-point ball game, 23 minutes gone, Northampton 7,
and even more so, Chris, Northampton have got to stick to their game plan. They've got to stick to the way that they play. Even when there are mistakes, even though the ball goes to Deckel, they miss the odd pass, because that's when ordinarily you tend to think, no 50-50 boys, let's play down that. This is the way Northampton play, and get yourself out of it by enjoying the style that have got you into the final. The last thing you want to see from Northampton is them bottling up because of the occasion, because of the injuries, because of a couple of mistakes.
Well, Finn Smith's going for goal here. Get the view of Paul Grayson in a sec about, whether it's the right decision will purely, I think, be on whether he nails the kick. It is a long way out. It's probably 50 metres on the angle. It's only 12, 13 metres in from touch. Finn Smith, up he steps, big thighs. Got it, he's not got the right connection. Or has he? It's come in from left to right. I thought it was a bit of a dead duck race, but it's somehow wobbled over. Great kick, Finn Smith, after all that, and Northampton only 2 short now.
Yeah, it's an absolutely head-high power fade. Blasted the ball to try and get the distance, lost all shape on the kick, but importantly, just crawled over the crossbar. Great hit, really, had to give it everything.
Yeah, power play, exactly what it was. I wasn't looking at our screen, I thought that ball, that's an awful trajectory, but it's over, it counts. Northampton 10, Bordeaux 12. And Matt Dawson, I imagine, taking the points, just what you want to see Northampton do.
Yeah. The longer this game goes on, and fatigue sets in for both sides, then it just opens up, and that's where Northampton could come into their own. Yes, Bordeaux are going to test with their bench, but just get through the next 10 so minutes.
Bordeaux have possession in between the 22 and the 10. Luku to the right. Samu, who's always prominent, and this kicking game from Bordeaux is excellent. They keep turning the Saints. Oh, beautifully done. I think that was Mitchell. Finds Freeman, gets a bit under it with the clearance. Freeman, he's kicked down the throat of Bielbieri. It's the last thing you want, but he's not got a lot of support. Bielbieri, he's a bit isolated, and there are 5 or 6 Saints right in his grill. So he can't wreak too much havoc there, Bielbieri, for a change. To the right now, Jalibert, shaped again, got the ball away. Brilliant. How good is this guy, Jalibert? We see it for France, and he is so central to everything Bordeaux do. Onto the ball comes the replacement, Retier. 10 metres out or so, Bordeaux. Can Saints hold firm? Poirot, slightly isolated into a combination of Mayan Avanua and Iyogun. There for Luku, again Jalibert, who makes something happen every time he touches it. The switch with Penno, who's off, he loses it forward. Oh, and some relief from the Saints fans. because it's just danger, danger, danger whenever Bordeaux have the ball. Right, another wicket at the cricket, Ellie.
Shoaib Bashir has 5, and Zimbabwe on the brink of defeat. They're 241 for 8. A regulation catch for Harry Brook, a top edge from Raza. Brilliantly played for his 60 though, and Zimbabwe 241 for 8. They've only got one more wicket to go. They're 59 behind. They will lose by an innings, but they have royally entertained us this afternoon.
Thanks a lot, Ellie, and the final stage of the Test match over on Sports Extra. What's happening at Wembley, Aaron?
Still 0-0, Luke O'Nien. We're going off, Chris, with a shoulder injury, and Sunderland just trying to readjust into the game. I'm alongside the former promotion-winning captain of Huddersfield Town, Tommy Smith, and Tommy, it feels as though that injury to O'Nien has just sucked the life out of it.
Yeah, the energy seems to have gone from the ground. To be honest with you, as it's it was electric come kick-off. Obviously, the injury to Luke O'Nien, which is obviously devastating for him. But yeah, the energy's just been zapped a little bit. Hopefully we can get that back. Sheffield United with the best opportunity of the game through Kiefer Moore. It is 0-0.
Oh, Saints in trouble here. Mitchell's been scragged. Penalty, Bordeaux. It was a solid Saints scrum, but Pollock couldn't quite get it away from the base. And then Mitchell scragged. Bordeaux flocked forward. Penalty given to the French side. And I kind of think if you're Saints, you might take 3 points here. They're going to go for goal, Paul Grayson.
Yes, they are. Mitchell getting caught there as the scrum disintegrated. Exactly what Matt was talking about before the game, the responsibilities of a number 8 to deal with a creaky scrum and a bouncing ball, and just not having the experience there, Pollock, to be able to find his way out of the mess.
Yes, it's just something that you learn in the trade, and it's very difficult to come into these massive matches having not played a lot at number 8. You're going backwards. The number one rule is get the ball in your hands and get away from trouble as soon as possible. Any kind of hesitation and you're trying to scoop up a ball on the retreat, you are toast, absolute toast. So again, someone needs to be, this is not directed at Henry Pollock, this is directed at coaches. They've got to get onto him and give him some instruction, some real solid, short instruction to get him into the game. I don't think I've heard you mention his name once, Chris.
No, and you flagged it, Matt, before the game, moving him from 7 to 8, the responsibilities that come at number 8 you don't have at 7 when you've got a classic number 8 like Kwano Augustus to do all those nuts and bolts. Here is Pollock on the ball. He goes inside to Hutchinson. Just on the sponsors logo. Mitchell now out to Dingwall. Dingwall sets it up just short of the 10-metre line. They're flocking around the corner. Nice ball. Hutchinson. Finn Smith's almost away. Couldn't quite get it to Tommy Freeman, but that was nice. That's a bit of the Saints we're used to seeing. Mitchell finds Trevor Davison. They're not a million miles away from the 22 now. And they carry again, but they've lost the ball forward. And their turnover, this is where Bordeaux are so dangerous. Jalibert kicks for Bielbieri, who is lightning, scorching up the Cardiff turf. And the sanctuary of touch, the ball dribbles out for Northampton, who will have the line out. But a good example there of Northampton making an unforced error when they were just starting to challenge the Bordeaux defence.
Well, they changed their kick-off, Northampton. This time they turned and went long right in the knowledge that Luku would just kick the ball off and they could start from a line out on the halfway line. They ran a three-phase play, knock up by Slice home on the inside of Pollock, round the corner, and then they changed direction. Finn Smith nearly made the break, got on the front foot, then Mayana Vanua carried the ball and lost it in midfield, and it is panic stations then, because that's manna from heaven from Bordeaux Bagler, and it is a constant from the French team that when they get to the edge they never die with the ball. They will always put it in behind you. Maximum pressure transfer, use their speed to make you deal with a bouncing ball in your own 22. They must have done it 4 or 5 times already.
Okay, Timo check.
And on that line out,
looking at the actions of number 6.
There's going to be a little check here that we'll keep an eye on from that line out.
Bring a replay zone, we are at the screen.
Henry Pollock gets the ball and does a little sort of nothing pass inside to Ollie Scheihome.
Just have a look at.
He's just star man. And if he wasn't in a number 8, there we go.
Well, Mohamedou Diaby. This could be this will be a card. Okay. So, Mayana Vanua is down injured. The Fijian lock for Northampton. He's too upright there, Diaby, isn't he?
Giving it to you in real
Let's
speed
listen
down,
in.
Real speed
Marius. Marish Jonker is the TMO, who's the voice you'll hear. The three officials are talking.
I'm going to describe what I'm saying.
Here's Amisha Kelly, the referee.
We got a foul play here by 6 because he's upright, he can't build over. Agree, we have a head contact. However, player is impassive and it's not a high degree of danger, so I'm seeing this as a yellow card against 6.
We heard that it's going to be a yellow card.
I agree with those facts, Nika.
Okay. Yellow card.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if next season or in the off season we're going to see a change in some of the language and some of the interpretation, because what we can't, there are increasingly more of these contacts to the head with shoulders, and the mitigation is, I would suggest, is questionable. Little bit of one last night, wasn't there, in the Champions
Sam Underhill
in the Challenge Cup. And I wouldn't want the game spoiled with a red card. Of course I wouldn't.
We're in between red and yellow cards and 20-minute red cards, which have been in some competitions but not others. They're coming in across the board, and that is probably a 20-minute red card kind of incident. They're saying it's low danger, but as far as I can see, Mayan Avenue has gone off. So there would be a high degree of danger. And I wonder whether Finn Smith's got to kick the goal there, a 15-10, bang in front. His kick's gone to within 10. They score a converted try here, it's vindicated. They throw to the front, and what was a dangerous Bordeaux attack is now a dangerous Saints attack. Ollie Slightholme against the kind of passive Bordeaux defence. 6 metres out, Mitchell to the left, there's Pollard, that's a much better bust. Over the gain line he goes, Mitchell to the left, oh, it's been intercepted by Penno. Damien Penno's almost got away, scragged and stopped, and then turned over by Northampton. So Saints do have it back. Good hands this from the Saints, and Kemeny drives 10 metres out or so. Mitchell, Trevor Davison, out the back it goes. Finn Smith's kick doesn't have a great chase, but Bielberry can't watch it dead. He kicks off his left. Good attacking position for Northampton. 15 metres out, line out. Aaron Paul, goal at Wembley.
Sheffield United 1, Sunderland 0, and this is breathtaking from the Blades on the counter-attack, having defended a corner. Gus Harmer kicks in the turbo over the halfway line, and he picks out Tyrese Campbell absolutely beautifully, who just lofts the ball over Anthony Patterson in the Sunderland goal. It's an absolutely stunning goal to get Sheffield United going in this playoff final. Sheffield United 1, Sunderland 0.
One at the front by Northampton, who attack inside the 22. Short from Hutchinson, almost split the defence there as Bordeaux come in, but the referee says leave it. Finn Smith, 10 metres out or so for Northampton, who trailed by just 5 in Cardiff in the Champions Cup final. Then it's been knocked on, but it's back with the Saints. Langdon kicks for himself, penalty advantage, picked up by Dingwall. Over the top he goes to Hutchinson, huge hit Luku, but it's going to be a penalty, bang in front of the post. Do Saints cut their losses and take the 3? Right, let's go to the pitch side. Sarah Orchard, what you got for us, Sarah?
So much has been going on. So just to confirm that Ed Prowse came on for Northampton, that's when we had Mayan Vanua go off. He's actually gone down the tunnel for an HIA, so technically he can come back on if he passes that, but he didn't spend a lot of time being treated by the medics. But Prowse onto the field, and remember that's 3 off the bench now for Northampton, and we are still only 32 minutes into this game.
Yeah, it's just been one of the most eventful 32 minutes you'll get. As we see a replay of the infringement from Bordeaux, deliberate knock-on, it just sort of flicked the fingertips before Prowse trying to carry off Mitchell's pass. Going for goal here, Paul Grayson, to cut the gap to 2.
Yeah, it's a tap in, so take you 3. Brave to go to the corner, they constructed a decent attack, Northampton forced some pressure onto Bordeaux. There's an argument, but that knock-on could have been deliberate. They get their 3 points, which is just reward for their bravery.
Is it all over at Trent Bridge, Ellie?
It is, yes. Shoaib Bashir has taken 6 wickets in the second innings, his best ever match figures for England. Zimbabwe all out for 255 for 9, so effectively 255 all out. So they lose by an innings and 45 runs. Brilliant work by them today. They've given us some rich entertainment, Sean Williams particularly, and Sikandar Raza, but well done to Shoaib Bashir and well done to England. They'll have tougher tests to come, but they've started this test match summer in winning form.
Thanks a lot, Ellie. TMS podcast for the reaction to England's first test of summer. Louis Bielbarré is human. He kicks it out on the full. Northampton 13, Bordeaux 15. 6 minutes to go of this compelling first half of rugby. Matt Dawson, your verdict? Feels like Bordeaux could put Northampton away whenever they get the ball, but Saints are hanging in there and more.
Yeah, the swing of momentum from both side to side is incredible. Northampton feel like they're just getting into their stride, having to make those replacements.
Oh, they're just working a shape down the right. Tommy Freeman out to Slightholme. Slightholme, good power. Smashes Jalibert out the way. I wonder if Pollock's growing into the game as well. A couple of carries from the youngster. Here's Prowse, who, as Sarah was telling us from the touchline, is on for Maya Vanua. Mitchell, they work this short side so nicely. Litchfield sets it up. Mitchell sending a massive game with a lot of Bordeaux pressure. Alex Mitchell. 5 minutes to go of this first half. Can they get something else as Tom Lockett finds Finn Smith? Smith kicks and Pollock could be in here. Oh, he's offside. He's offside. Pollock scores. But Nika Amishakeli was hot on it. Just if it held his run by a second, then that would have been a genius bit of skill from Finn Smith. But it's a penalty against Pollock inside the Bordeaux half. They're just outside their 22 really. Northampton 13, Bordeaux 15, and Bordeaux have the penalty to get out of Saints territory.
Saints are doing so well. They're winning their line out brilliantly, giving themselves options, and it's chaos in the Bordeaux backfield. Ratier's on, Burros is off. There was nobody there for two, literally nobody behind him. Eventually Northampton did the right thing as Bordeaux mistouch.
Well, Jalibert's got this enormous boot and he's pushing to the max. He missed his touch. Sarah's just reported by WhatsApp that Maya Vanua has failed his HIA, so we'll go to Sarah on the touchline shortly as Biel Biarri gets up and takes his own kick and then boots it ahead, but he's only got Balatea, the prop, after him. The bounce is going to work for Penno. Penno takes it out the air. Oh, it's a penalty against Northampton. Penno was felled illegally, and this could be trouble.
He's got to be. Tommy Freeman has to be in the bin there. Has to be.
He just couldn't wait any longer for Penno to land. He waited and waited and waited. Penalty only, I'd say.
Penno was flying in the air, wasn't he? He just wouldn't come down onto the ground, but he's taking him out. And if he doesn't make that tackle, then either Penno scores or he puts his mate in. I mean, Northampton, I think Northampton have got away with one there.
Just a mistiming.
Well, Northampton may feel that it could have been a red card for Diab here. We've seen forward passes, we've seen disallowed tries at both ends, we've seen cards. We've seen cards that could have been more. We're seeing a replay of that. The Bordeaux coaches can't believe it. Matt Dawson is smiling. The Northampton man in him.
That's a yellow card. Clearly knows what he's doing.
I know, he's given the yellow. Well, there you go.
Damn you, big screen.
So Matt knew straight away that was a yellow card against Freeman. We saw the replay, saw how enraged Bordeaux were. The wry smile from Matt gave the game away on second viewing. So Tommy Freeman has been yellow carded. It's 14 on 14. 4 minutes left. Oh, Saints aren't going to survive here, are they? Because Bordeaux have got a more going, and they have this back line stuffed full of firepower. Luku to Jalibert, 6 or 7 metres out. Can Northampton come up with a big play in defence as we tick towards half-time in the Champions Cup final on 5 Live? 3.5 minutes to the break, but Bordeaux are 5 metres out just to the right of the post, and they drive on again through their big forwards. There's Cazot, helped out by a few teammates under the crossbar. Luku, you feel they can score left or right. They go right. Jalibert kicks for Biel Biarri. Was there an advantage? No advantage. Northampton have it back, then it's turned over, and Bordeaux are into the corner and they score. Oh, Northampton had it back and then lost it inexplicably, and Penno scores his second try, and Bordeaux in again.
So difficult to see from where we are without any replays, but they made a tackle there. The ball was temporarily on the floor under Henry Pollock's feet, as far as I could make out. An opportunity for Northampton to snaffle it and get rid of the danger. They failed to deal with it. The referees joined in terms of the openness of the game. Yeah, it was a kick ahead. Jalibert's had 2 goes at it, and the ball pops out to Penno, who finishes well over the top of Mitchell.
Oh, Northampton just had to dive on that ball, didn't they? They were given a lifeline. So close to half time.
You got to work. I mean, given Northampton's scenario, you've got to make Bordeaux work for every single point. You've got to graft, and yes, they may well have scored a try eventually, but you can't be gifting tries like that to Bordeaux in the final, and that's what will be disappointed for the coaching staff. Jalabert's given that ball away. Henry Pollock, get on the ball, secure it. It just turns into a little bit of a bun fight, and that's a gift.
Thank you.
You're dead right, Matt. You can't give them 5 points like that. Jalabert scuffed the conversion. So 7-point ball game. Northampton 13, Bordeaux 20. 90 seconds left of the half. Come Sarah from the touchline.
Yeah, and just in front of me at the moment, if things aren't going to get any worse for Northampton, see Diaby is getting ready to come back on. He's got about 30 seconds left of that yellow card, and then Northampton will be a man down. Also just confirming as well that Maya Vanua has failed his HIA, so 3 subs used for Northampton. They've only got 5 for the second half.
Long restart from Northampton to their right. Luku with the 60-metre spiral down the tram lines, and then Tom Litchfield snap hooks it off his left. So it's advantage Bordeaux with a line out just outside Northampton's 10.
They can't concede a game, can they, before half time?
No.
This feels like the game here. Northampton 13, Bordeaux 20. But if Bordeaux score another 7, which they can do in a flash because of their ability behind the scrum, but can Northampton somehow keep them out, or even better, get into a position to score themselves? Trevor Davison's got a turnover. That's huge for Northampton. And now if they go long into Bordeaux territory, they might work a position to eat into this 7-point lead. Well done, Trevor Davison on the floor. Final 30 seconds. Finn Smith's got to go quite long here, hasn't he? And he just about makes it up to the 22. Coming in a moment, Matt Dawson. Another goal at Wembley. Which way, Aaron?
It's 2 for Sheffield United. This time it's the left for the Harrison Burrows that connects so sweetly with the ball on the half volley and just evades what feels like hundreds of bodies and deflects past Anthony Patterson in the Sunderland goal. What a fabulous strike that is from Burrows. Sheffield United 2, Sunderland 0.
Line out one at the front, nice little post around Mitchell. Fraser Dingwall gets it to slide home. Ollie Slidehome inside. Alex Gold scores. Oh, what a team Northampton are. Where they're looking down and out, they come off the canvas. And Cole scores a beauty. And they can kick the scores level on half-time in the Champions Cup final.
In terms of scenario planning and being able to pick the right page out of your playbook when you're a man down in the forwards, that line out was one. I think it was Tom Lockett. It was a single man lift, which means you can have more players in motion to get people in the right place to decoy and give Alex Mitchell a chance to get the wraparound on the way back. Ball out to Slidehome, did well to ride the tackle back inside to Coles, but that is picture perfect in terms of what you're going to do when you're a man down in the 8.
On the whistle, when we were wondering whether Bordeaux would score the try that could have crushed Saints' spirit, what do Saints do? They score a try, and Finn Smith's kick, this is for 20 all at half-time. There's Finn Smith. It's come in, what a kick as well from Finn Smith. On the whistle, the Northampton flags fly, and the neutrals round here are on their feet, because these men have gone to the well, that first 40, and they'll go there again in the second half. Matt Dawson, Northampton 20, Bordeaux 20, half-time in the Champions Cup final.
An incredible 40 minutes of rugby. I'm not quite sure where we start there, because from the opening salvo of Northampton, it looked like somehow Northampton were going to go even further than they were against Leinster. The intensity, the power, the pace, the accuracy, and then of course bang bang, 2 injuries, everything in disarray. Bordeaux take control, but slowly and surely, particularly I've got to mark out Alex Mitchell and Finn Smith for organisation of the team around them. Northampton have got themselves out of not a hole, but let's just say a divot, but it was a significant one.
Steve, 20 all half time.
Crikey. Paul Grayson, forget the whole half for a second. Just the last 60 seconds, absolutely pivotal.
You're right, pivotal is the word, because you go in at half time 7 points down, you've taken on 3 injuries, You've had a rejig in your backfield. You've had a couple of opportunities that haven't gone your way, and you're a man down with 1 minute to go. The majority of people's mindset would be, let's just hang on till half time, take the 7-point deficit, make no mistakes. Saints just don't do it like that, and I might be completely wrong, but that one-man lift in the line out and the three-phase play to score that try is absolute genius in terms of execution, but also the intellectual property of being able to come up with something like that in your scenario planning. Brilliant stuff.
It's a double pivot, Matt Dawson, because you've got the try and before that the penalty as well. And the way that you guys were talking just before then was the fact that Northampton could not concede again at that moment. Chris used the words, this could be the game. That is seismic.
Yeah, and I think the players will probably, a certain individual on the pitch would know that. And you're going to feel the pressure, you always do, right? You feel the pressure in attack, you feel the pressure in defence. And particularly the international players in that Northampton side would have known, these are the defining moments of this game, and there will be a handful in all these big finals, and that was absolutely one. When Northampton were in their own 22, under pressure, 14 men, can they get some kind of exit? What's next? So it bodes very, very well for the second half that Northampton are not only in this game, but they are sprinting into the change room with that, I don't want to say belief, but understanding that even though things have not necessarily gone their way, they are capable of winning this game. And that could have been quite a seismic job for the coach to make the players understand and believe, whereas now they're running in themselves saying, here we go, we can go and win this.
Phil Dowson said that Northampton Saints would fly into this final. They have flown down that tunnel 20-20 level with Bordeaux in an astonishing first half of this Champions Cup final. Loads of big finals going on. Scottish Cup final, goal there, Ailey Barber.
And it is the holders Celtic who have taken the lead here. I think it might go down as an Alfie Dorrington own goal, although Cameron Carter-Vickers was claiming the plaudits from a corner. Carter-Vickers got the header, looked like it was going wide, deflected off Dorrington and into the bottom corner. It's been all Celtic. They now have that precious lead. It is Aberdeen 0, Celtic 1.
Big moment at Wembley Stadium in the Championship playoff final. Aaron Paul.
Yeah, Sheffield United 1, Sunderland 0. We thought the Blades had a second through Harrison Burrows, but a VAR check has chalked the goal off. It was believed that Vinicius Souza moved into the line of sight of goalkeeper Anthony Patterson, and Souza was in an offside position, and so referee Chris Kavanagh went over to the monitor and decided to chalk the strike off, to the delight of all the Mackems to our right in the west end of Wembley. Tommy Smith alongside me, the playoff winning captain of Huddersfield Town. And Tommy, it's not gone Sunderland's way this first 40 or so minutes. They need to use that and build some momentum.
It's not gone their way, you're absolutely right. I mean, one thing it has done, that disallowed goal, is it's give the Sunderland fans that little bit of energy that they probably need now after the Luke O'Nien injury. It was like they'd scored a goal when the goal got disallowed there, so hopefully that gives the players and the fans a little bit more belief now to go on and get something out of the game.
Indeed, on the road to the break, if 5 or so plus added on time to go, and there will be plenty of it. Steve, Sheffield United 1, Sunderland 0 in the Championship playoff final.
Smoke machines back on inside the Principality Stadium, mist spreading all around this incredible venue. Somewhere in amongst it, Sarah Orchard.
Yeah, I can confirm we've got some good news for Northampton fans after we saw a really serious injury to George Furbank, who took a nasty head collision in the early stages of this fixture. We've been told he is now awake. He's still at the stadium. He's being assessed. They don't know yet if they're going to take him to hospital, but the good news is that he is awake. Back to you, Steve.
On 5 Sports Extra 2 right now, Monaco Grand Prix qualifying. Harry Benjamin.
For the Argentine, just 21 years old, 10 race starts to his name. Well, the 11th one might be a long day at the office for him.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about changing drivers.
Got some issues there with Monaco, so that's fine. We will get back there, and as I say, you can, if you want, listen to go to the commentary on Sports Extra 2. Crazy half here at the Principality. Northampton 20, Bordeaux 20, Champions Cup final on a knife edge. Second half commentary to come. Stuart Clarkson's got the news.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Steve, thank you. A woman and her 3 children have died in a fire in northwest London. Emergency services were called to the house in Stonebridge in the early hours. 2 other family members are in hospital. A 41-year-old man was arrested at the scene. The Assistant Commissioner of the London Fire Brigade, Keely Foster, has been speaking at a press conference in the past half hour.
This is an extremely tragic incident, and the thoughts of everyone across the brigade are with those impacted. Upon arrival, firefighters were met with a well-developed fire involving 2 adjoining properties. Crews wearing breathing apparatus were able to rescue the woman and one of the children from the 2nd floor, but they were later declared deceased at the scene. A further 2 children were discovered to have died in the fire as crews carried out search of the properties involved.
Elsewhere this afternoon, health officials in Gaza say a doctor has lost 9 children in an airstrike while she was working in Khan Yunis. Israel has been asked for a comment on the attack, which came as efforts are continuing to get aid to those in need, days after the Israeli blockade was lifted. Ukraine and Russia have each released 307 prisoners on the second day of the biggest exchange of the war so far. The 2 sides have agreed to release a total of 2,000 prisoners over 3 days. And zoos have welcomed new guidelines requiring them to give some animals larger enclosures. Under the overhaul of welfare standards, visitors will also be stopped from touching some sensitive sea creatures such as octopuses and rays.
When it's a quintessential part of British summer. When it's the tournament you've waited 4 years for. When it's down to a nail-biting match-point rally.
How can they keep going?
I'm tired just watching.
I think I need a banana.
Nothing brings us together like great TV. And a TV licence covers you to watch all TV channels so you can enjoy a whole summer of world-class sport. It also funds everything you love from the BBC, including iPlayer and live radio. Like this.
BBC Radio 5 Live.
This is 5 Live Sport.
With Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
We're being treated to another light show and DJ set inside the Principality Stadium. 20-all in the Champions Cup final. Second half commentary to come. Meanwhile, in Monaco Grand Prix qualifying, Harry Benjamin.
Thanks, Steve. Yeah, Lando Norris currently leads the way in this second part of qualifying. We've lost Bortoleto, Behrman, Gasly, Stroll and Colapinto in the first part of this session. Neither Mercedes will make it through into the final part of qualifying. A power failure for George Russell. Kimi Antonelli, his teammate, finding the wall, won't be able to continue. Damon Hill, the 1996 Formula 1 world champion, is alongside me. And Damon, this is the best day of the year, isn't it? And right now it looks like Ferrari are great. Verstappen never ruled them out, and the McLarens too.
Yeah, I can't talk right now, I'm afraid, Harry. I'm watching on board of Lewis Hamilton as he threads his way through, and he's going around Portier now and into the tunnel, so it all goes dark and we can't see a thing. I hope he can see where he's going as he comes down to the new chicane. He comes over the crest.
He comes over the crest indeed and makes his way around. Hamilton down in 9th, but we're about to get into the pole position shootout in about 5 or so minutes time. Charles Leclerc still looking strong on home ground, but Norris fast as well.
So that is your choice of listening. 5 Sports Extra 2, really getting to the business end of qualifying for the Monaco Grand Prix, whereas any sports fan knows if you want to win it, you almost certainly have to start it on pull. Once we're done with the rugby here inside the Principality Stadium, the final of the Women's Champions League takes over. Full commentary from 5 o'clock. Barcelona looking to win their 3rd title in a row. Arsenal, the only team to win the trophy from England. That was back in 2007 in Lisbon, inside the José Alvalade. Vicky Sparks.
Hello, good afternoon, Steve. Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, welcome to a very warm Portuguese capital for what is one of the biggest challenges facing Arsenal in their history. 18 years they have waited for this moment to return to the final of the Women's Champions League. As you say, they are the only English side to have won this competition, and they are up against the undisputed Queens of Europe in recent years. Barcelona looking to win this trophy for the 3rd season running. They are the favourites, but then Arsenal were the underdogs back in 2007, and they managed to get the better of Umia, who were the big dogs in the women's game at that time. maybe they can do the same again. They will need to draw on all of those comebacks that they produced throughout the Women's Champions League this season, not least the wonderful semi-final win away to Lyon. But there's no mistaking, Steve, Barcelona quite simply are the biggest test for any women's side in Europe at the moment, and that's evidenced by the fact that Chelsea swept all before them in the WSL this season and won the treble, and were absolutely thumped by Barcelona in the semi-finals of this competition.
Izzy Christensen is alongside Vicky for commentary. Izzy, Alessia Russo said in the build-up to this game, we are where we want to be, but you know, as someone who's played in plenty of big finals, the closer the game gets, the more they want to be more than just finalists.
Absolutely, Steve. The atmosphere is building so nicely. The Arsenal players have been on the pitch, you know, taking in the heat that seems to be down there. It's absolutely roasting at pitch level. And like you say, Arsenal are exactly where they want to be, but they want to win. And they want to get their hands on this. It could really transform how their summer's going to look and how next season and beyond looks. And also for Renee Slagers, wow, what a transformation that would be since taking over at the helm. But nonetheless, they're here and they have the opportunity to do something very, very special this afternoon.
If they're going to win it, how do they win it, Izzy?
They've got to be compact. They have to be compact. They have to make a series of thousands of decisions on the pitch, not to jump out too early. Barcelona are the type of team that want pressure. They want to be pressed aggressively so that they can move the ball even quicker and respond. But Arsenal have to stay compact. They have to find a way to progress the ball from back to front. Key in that is Alessia Russo. How she operates between the two centre-backs tonight. I think she's got the capabilities to handle both of Barcelona's centre-backs and cause them so many problems. Coming short, dropping in behind. I think she's got the strength. She's having her best season I've ever seen her play, and she needs one massive performance tonight to lead the team from the front.
And one thing, Steve, that I should say, we've just had the team news in, and the huge positive for Arsenal is that their number one goalkeeper, Daphne van Domselaar, does start. Now, she's only played once for Arsenal in the last 2 months because of an ankle injury. That was in their semi-final victory away to Lyon. I don't know what they've done to that ankle to get her fit, but they've managed to patch her up because she is such a key player for them. They've shipped loads of goals in their last 3 games with her deputy Manuela Zinsberger in goal. That is huge team news for Arsenal. Van Domselaar fit, and she starts.
All right. Thank you very much, Izzy Christensen, Vicky Sparks there in Lisbon. So you got the heat of Lisbon for the Women's Champions League final. 5 Sports Extra 2 for the champagne stuff from Monaco. Grand Prix qualifying, getting to the business end. That is where you can go, or you can stay with us right here inside the Principality Stadium. We had a heck of a first half. Northampton Saints and Bordeaux level at 20 points apiece. Second half commentary is on the way. Let's quickly get the half time though in the Scottish Cup final. Ailey.
An opening 45 that was utterly dominated by Celtic, albeit without creating much. So not really a surprise they took the lead through a set piece. A corner from the left, headed towards goal by Cameron Carter-Vickers, but it was the touch from Aberdeen centre-back Alfie Dorrington that sent it past Meatov and into the net. So technically, we've not yet had a shot on target in this final. Celtic have had 85% possession, a lot of it in areas they can't hurt Aberdeen, who have defended really well in the main. They haven't posed any sort of threat though at the other end, and they will need to now that they trail, or this final could run away from them. At the break though, it is Aberdeen 0, Celtic 1.
Right, we're ready to roll. Northampton Saints, Bordeaux, this is your moment. Matt Dawson, Paul Grayson, correspondent Chris Jones.
Right, let's go. We've had some epic contests, haven't we, this season? In the international game, in the autumn internationals, the Six Nations. This one might beat even those. 20-all at half-time. Carnage and chaos in the first 40. The second 40 promises so much. Bordeaux looking to win this competition for the first time ever. Northampton looking to keep the heroes of 2000 company. As Alex Mitchell sends it into the box, hasn't gone all that far. It's an easy one for Luku. Northampton rather overran it. They had a brilliant start to the first half. Did Northampton. Ben Tamafuna's on, just looking at the benches at the break. A giant of a man, the Tongan international, and Jalibert again kicks. That doesn't go anywhere. Finn Smith takes it. Mitchell, it's the game he's having, Mitchell. He just jinks and dummies and then kicks with loads on it, asking Biel Biarri, who has gone to full-back, to slope backwards, and he can't dot it down for a goal line, so he's going to have to clear, and he slices it. So Alex Mitchell's taken Saints 60 metres or so up the pitch. Paul Grayson.
Just about the first mistake from Jalibert. Chip in behind has worked perfectly for them in the first half on 2 or 3 occasions. This time it's a miscue from Jalibert, and then brilliant from Saints to transfer it to Mitchell. Dummies the kick, steps, drives it down the middle.
Saints with the line out. Pollock down the short side, gets it away. Langdon inside. Henry Pollock. Henry Pollock scored. Oh, we said in the first half. We hadn't said his name much, but he comes up with a big moment yet again this season. Down the short side, nothing looked on. He powered through to score, and Saints lead the Champions Cup final. And it's that man, Henry Pollock.
Trick play from the line out. Dummy back peel. I think it was Kemeny who peeled away without the ball, like a quarterback in American football, hiding it, then transferred down the short side. Pollock gives the ball to Langdon.
Check it.
Gets the ball back inside.
We're going to check this.
There'll be a little check here.
Oh
We're
no.
going to check this, Nika.
What's happened here, Matt Dawson? You spotted it.
Well, Henry Pollock has gone round the front, as Grace described, distributed a lovely ball with the timing, but has
we are seeing,
just tried to pull Damien Pano his shirt,
the blue player after the ball leaves
which
the ball.
the referee is going to deem whether that affected the tackle before Henry Pollock got the ball back, I think. Even though the camera is on Alex Coles.
6 green, there we go.
Oh yeah, well, Alex Coles as well. There's been 2 pulls on jerseys there, one from Henry Pollock, one from Alex Coles. It's tiny, but it probably does stop
ball is well gone.
Tamo Fana's tackling Henry Pollock.
Yeah, this one's going to be ruled out. One of those, the pre-TMO, it's just the kind of dark art that happens all the time. But the tiniest little misdemeanor will be pounced upon by the officials. No try, whether Coles, whether Pollock, whether a combination of both. And Henry Pollock's big moment in the Champions Cup final is scrubbed out. So Northampton 20, Bordeaux 20 remains the score. You got half-time at Wembley, Aaron Paul.
Yeah, Sheffield United won. Sunderland 0, a stunning goal from Tyrese Campbell has Sheffield United ahead here. Campbell latching on to Gus Hamer's pass after a long busting run to dink over Patterson. Harrison Burrows thought he'd doubled the Blades' advantage. His strike ruled out for an offside against Vinicius Souza, playoff winning captain with Huddersfield. Tommy Smith alongside me. Tom.
Yeah, really interesting to see how we start the second half now. In that first half, it looked like the Sheffield goal really settled the nerves of the game in general. It was a little bit edgy, a little bit cagey. Obviously, as we've mentioned, with Luke O'Nien going off so early in the game, we lost a bit of energy and a bit of atmosphere. The goal obviously brought that back. So, we're in for a really enthralling second half.
Absolutely, we are. Sheffield United, a goal to the good here on Sunderland.
Thanks a lot, Aaron. Bordeaux attacking after that penalty was cleared into the Northampton half. Tamafuna again with a big carry, lightning fast ball from Luku. Jalibert, as always, looking up, scanning, then it's been lost forward. So Northampton will get the scrum. When they go through the phases, Bordeaux don't have loads. They've just got so much star quality. But if Northampton can get them going through those phases, they can. They're liable to make mistakes, which they have done here. There'll be another check here. Well, there for a head contact.
Lazy.
So this is Ed Prowse.
Check.
I mean, the swings in momentum in this game have been extraordinary. 1 minute, Henry Pollock's in, chalked off. Bordeaux go back into Saints territory. They knock on. Momentum back with the Saints. Then they're checking for a high shot.
This could be worse. I think this potentially could be worse than Diaby in the first half, because Prowse has got lazy, really lazy. He's going for a big shot. He's made no dip in the tackle.
Real time.
Oh my goodness me.
It's whether he decides it's passive.
Marius,
let's have a listen.
Describe what I'm seeing. A full play, he can't build over, but the same as the first one, he's receiving this, so we have not high degree of danger in the yellow card.
So in the same way that Diaby was saved by Nick Amashikeli, saying that the degree of danger is low, and that's questionable given Maivanu has not come back on, and questionable given Mo Fada might be struggling too, although looks, is he going on for an HI, we'll see. Either way, it's a Bordeaux penalty. You'd imagine Jalabert kicks the goal, Paul Grayson, from bang in front 30 from the Northampton post.
Okay. Yeah, and it's a poor tackle technique. I mean, Moefana was never going to do anything other than cart it up. Once he tucked it, clear shot, he'd go for physical dominance. At least the referee's been consistent, whether you agree with it or not. It's still a knock to the head, and therefore it has to be dangerous, whether he's wins the collision or not. But
it's just there are so many memories burning around in my gut and my head of, you know, the people understand, the players understand what is at stake right now. That is so unnecessary from Prowse, really unnecessary. There's no pressure, there's no one near him. We're saying that is an easy go on, then make a massive hit, but drop your height, and it sort of reminds me of that semi-final against we had in Llanelli when Grace kicked the points to win it at the death from an unnecessary penalty from Llanelli. You can't afford to do it in these big games.
Luku for 3. He's kicking rather than Jalabert. He's nailed it. Lovely kick from Luku. Interesting moment. They were deliberating whether to go for the corner, but the tee came on and the Saints players all pointed out to the ref, look, the tee's on, you've got to go for goal. Northampton are down to 13. I think if you're a Saints player, you take the 3 there. You take the fact that Bordeaux have gone for 3. Because if Bordeaux kick, they're 13. They're attacking against 13 players if they kick for the corner, Grace.
Yeah, I think you're right. Just mitigate the 3 points against getting the ball back and being able to pump it into Bordeaux territory.
Okay, what is the score? Hard to keep up. Northampton 20, Bordeaux 23. Tommy Freeman will be back any moment now. Prowse will have another 9 minutes. And this is where, if you're Bordeaux, you think keep the ball in hand and stretch this defence, which is 2 men short. But they've given a penalty away, Bordeaux. If Northampton could get away with this period just being 3 points, then they will grow in confidence. Bordeaux leading by 3, 5 minutes into the Champions Cup final second half.
Yeah, Gazzotti on in the back row, I think, for Bordeaux with the chase there, and just made contact with the player catching the ball in the air. Let off gives Northampton easy opportunity to get back into the Frenchman's half. We talked that try they scored with 14 men before half time. What's in their 13-man playbook?
I know, I'm sure they all train with 14, but do they train with 13? They don't have to, because Tommy Freeman's back on. So Saints are just the 1 man down as they win the line out nicely through Lockett. He was under pressure, then he's lost it forward, or has he? Well, the referee seemed to suggest there was a knock on, but it's play on and Saints have it, so the Northampton fans all around us will take that. Mitchell back to Finsmith, who will go aerially, asking Litchfield and Freeman to chase. It's dropping outside the 22, no, just inside. Good composure from Biel Biarri, who wants to counter-attack, and he finds his partner in crime, Penno, who rather agriculturally, as is his style, whacks it downfield. Finsmith is back 5 metres from his own goal line. He's got quite a long kick. He hasn't got that at all, and it's down the throat of Petty, the Argentinian, and he finds, oh, what a pickup that is, that Moefana on the far side. Yes, it was. That was genius from Moefana, who didn't go off after that collision with Prowse, and now they're attacking nicely. Jalabert, Biel Biarri in traffic. He's almost got through. Luku, lightning fast ball. Jalabert, beautiful offload to Luku. They can take their lead out to 10 here, Bordeaux, with another try. And maybe strike a fatal blow. They've got numbers here, have they? Deporter, they've got to get on this ball, Saints, and get the turnover. Have they managed to do that? Yes, they have, just in time. They get the turnover, and they try and counter-attack through Litchfield. They've got to get out of here, Saints. Slightly hanging on, but we said this in the first half, and they kept coming up with big plays to stay in the contest.
Yeah, awesome turnover from Henry Pollock under all that pressure. Timed it brilliantly. No one going to budge him. I think that disallowed try has just given him a real...
Langton's carrying it out of defence, and Northampton give the penalty away. What was happening there, guys? They had the ball back and then just... Again, a very soft concession from Northampton.
Just setting up for the clearance kick, either the box kick or a pass back. Trevor Davison was already looking slightly worse for wear, hands on knees before that carry. Then he got involved in the breakdown, taking a bang and shipping a bit of claret. The tight head prop has been sensational, really, for Northampton under massive pressure, but just couldn't affect the clear out turnover.
While Bordeaux are attacking towards the hundreds and hundreds of Bordeaux fans behind the goal, waving their flags, making an awesome noise. And this could be one of the biggest moments in Bordeaux's history. As Lamotte, the hooker, throws, they win it in the line out. Remember, Saints are still a man down with Prowse in the sin bin, and they're driving through the guts of Northampton here, willed on by their fans, up to the line, over the line, power play from Bordeaux. Well, Saints straight away are talking to the refs, they will check it. Matt Dawson, you're indicating maybe the ball was lost forward.
Well, just didn't. The momentum of that ball going forward, as Bordeaux were dropping as a pack onto the line, it just looked like the ball had it just didn't look clean to me. I know we're a long way away, but it just didn't look clean from Lamotte on the grounding. And whether a Northampton hand has just come in and poked.
Oh, he's lost it. He's lost it.
Yeah, well spotted.
What a spot, Dawes.
Yeah. Eagle-eyed that was, because for all money they were cantering over the line.
He loses the control of the ball.
Now we're getting Nick Amish-Kelly over the speaker, so at least the 60,000+. What a crowd in, by the way, into the Principality.
We need the tight tackle.
Almost a complete sellout, one of the biggest stadiums in world rugby. It's whether he's got it down and then lost it. No, they can't give that. They simply can't give that, can they? Let's listen into the officials.
Is there one angle looks a knock on for all money, another angle looks like it's been grounded and then it pops out.
Yeah, I will say.
I don't think he's got control of that, Grace.
No, I think you're right. Separation's the thing they're looking for. And from this reverse angle,
so this is our best angle here. Okay. He plays the position of the ball. In position of the ball, he loses control of the ball there.
He loses the control there. Okay.
Yes.
Mario, just go back, please, on the maul, just to see if there is any leg lift by a Northampton player prior to that. Anyway.
Well, now they're not going to give the try, but they're looking to see if there is an infringement from Northampton, and it's kind of one of those where if you want to find an infringement, you might be able to.
Leg lift by Green, so we are disallowing the try, give it a penalty, okay? All right, there's going to be no try, but the penalty for a leg lift, okay?
Okay, so it's not a try, but they've got Curtis Langdon for lifting the legs. They've got a penalty against Northampton.
And I think to the referee's credit, Chris, once they checked the grounding, he asked them specifically to look at whether there was a leg lift, because he got it in the back of his mind that had happened.
Loses the control.
Well, Northampton are on the brink here, but it's only a 3-point game. Northampton 20, Bordeaux 23. There were times in the first half where you felt Bordeaux were going to take control of the contest. Saints kept hanging in there. They kept coming back, but they're being stretched like you wouldn't believe, with 3 men off injured, Maya Vanua, Ram and Burbank. Their whole 23, the resources being stretched to the limit against this mighty French outfit, who have another 5-metre line out, playing into their fans behind the post. They win the line out again. Can Saints repel them? Can they stay clean, Northampton? They're driving up to the line, Lamont. He might get there. Oh, what an effort from Lockett to somehow stop him. And then they've lost it, Bordeaux. And Coles comes away with it. And they've got to get their exit right if they can here, Northampton, because they are, Paul Grayson, on their own line. It's a horrible place for Alex Mitchell to clear from. And he actually gets a decent kick away. That's one for you, Matt Dawson. Oh, Biel Biarri's gone quickly. We can't stop. The game's not stopping. Biel Biarri tackled. And Northampton, willed on by their supporters, they've somehow kept Bordeaux out, and then Luku loses it. And there are numbers to the right if Northampton want to play. I mean, it's carnage and chaos out there, but Northampton again are staying in the fight.
Listen, look, how do you pick one person out of that defensive set? But I'm going to lock it. I'm not. Maybe we can. Flashing in my mind is Anton de Bon's tackle against Ireland. Against Mac Hansen in the corner, had no right to pick him up and drive him backwards. On that occasion, Lockett has come out of the maul, a maul that's going at a rate of knots, and has somehow just dragged this Bordeaux player backwards.
Same against him. You need to have a twist. It's not a twist, it's just the bodies on bodies.
A little bit
it's just
a little bit of TV watching from the referee here about a clear out where I think both of them are having a bit of a bear hug, to be perfectly honest. But Lockett has got Northampton out of jail.
Just a good contact on the body.
It was amazing that for what's Tom Lockett, 22, genuine man strength there. just picked another human being up and moved them gently backwards. We see a replay of it now. It's like, no, you don't, mate.
Well, if Northampton go on to win that, as Matt Dawson said, there's no end of heroes, the 50 minutes they put in, but that'll be one of those famous plays that'll be spoken about in the stands of the Gardens for decades to come. Sarah, come in from the touchline.
Yeah, I've got some good news for you as they just pat down for that scrum. George Furbank, he's down in the technical area. He's with the Northampton players. He's had a shower. He does have a little bit of claret actually coming out of his ear, so he really did take quite a clattering. But he's smiling away with his teammates. So good news for him, but also changes coming on for Bordeaux. Adam Coleman has made his way off the field and on straight into that scrum you're watching, Pierre Bocoton.
Nice one, Sarah. There is so much going on. We've had tries, disallowed tries, yellow cards. It has been a chaotic Champions Cup final. It remains in the balance. Let's check in with Elliot Hamden.
It is still Aberdeen 0, Celtic 1 back underway in the second half. No changes for either team. I wondered if Aberdeen might try and be a little bit more attacking as things have started in the second half. That's not been the case. It's all Celtic once again, but no additional goals or chances to tell you about. It is 48 minutes on the clock. Aberdeen 0, Celtic 1.
And the final half hour, 40 minutes or so of that game is over on Sports Extra 3. And talking of big football finals, 5 o'clock in Lisbon, Arsenal women against Barcelona women in the Champions League final. That is here on 5 Live. As Northampton get a free kick, they go to the skies, they win it back, and they just start to burst into life, and that momentum swing again as Mitchell sees space behind Biel-Biarri. Oh, that's really clever. You'll have liked that one, Matt Dawson.
What a kick. I did not have that in my locker, I can tell you that for nothing. The vision, skill to be able to run right, see the left-hand touchline. There was probably about a 2-metre bit of space for Alex Mitchell to find. Bordeaux going quickly.
Yeah, Bordeaux, only 5 metres from their own line. Saints just need to keep Bordeaux down there. Saints just need to play on the fact that Bordeaux will feel they could be out of sight, but they're not. Northampton 20, Bordeaux 23, as Luku clears, and this will be a line out to Saints. Yes, it will. Litchfield takes it, but he's outside the field of play. It's a decent enough kick from Luku, but Saints will have the ball in Bordeaux territory, 40-odd metres out. It's a 3-point game with 13 minutes gone of the second half and 27 minutes to go in the Champions Cup final.
Yeah, 13 minutes gone. Saints doing it all with 14 men at the moment. Amazing performance by their forward pack to get them from a foot from their own line all the way up to the Bordeaux 10.
Well, they're going to the tail and they win it nicely there, Saints. Langdon, despite that stinger that we all thought would rule him out, and he's seen space behind Penno, but Penno's quick and he's covered that well. This time Mitchell doesn't quite find the grass, and it's that Kemeny down injured. I mean, I doubt the Saints players are going to be able to walk for weeks after this. Their domestic season, thankfully from a sort of fitness point of view, means it's all about today as Freeman runs it out from fullback. Good leg drive from Tommy Freeman, who scored here for England in the Six Nations. But the counter up from Bordeaux, just an example that Northampton cannot switch off in any tiny facet of this game. Bordeaux turn it over, and Poirot, the loose head, has it, met by opposite number Mani Yogan. Advantage being played, I think, to Bordeaux. Is it just for a knock-on? Let's see what unfolds here as Bordeaux, they come down the left-hand side, space for Deporter, out to Retier, he had Biel-Biarri inside, good tackling by Saints, but Deporter goes up to the 22, Bordeaux lead by 3, as Jalibert finds Tamafuna. What have Saints got in defence? What have Bordeaux got in attack? Luku probing, advantage over from the previous offence by Saints, but Bordeaux are cooking with gas here. Biel-Biarri's pass, was it a touch forward? No, referee happy. And Bordeaux go to within 7 or 8 metres on the far left of the pitch. Biel-Biarri working that touchline. Advantage as the Saints again give a penalty away. They might be in yellow card territory yet again here. To within 5 come the big Bordeaux forwards. Penno's on a hat-trick hugging this touchline, but Tamafuna drives to within a couple of metres. Luku goes himself, met by Kemeny, who melts him. But advantage still being played. And it's still there for Bordeaux, who have this 3-point lead.
Penno all on his own on the right wing, nobody within 30 yards.
They might not need him, they score! Down the blind side, it was coming. And Bordeaux get another try, scored by Cazot the lock. We've said a few times, is that the moment Bordeaux take control? But as their flags fly, as the big pockets of Bordeaux fans all around Cardiff celebrate, That's the try that takes them 2 scores clear in the cup final.
Yeah, and we all knew come 60 minutes, 65 minutes with the bench that Bordeaux have, Northampton needed to have something in the tank. The last 20 minutes they've been with 14 men, and it was just one step too far for the Saints.
Well, there are boos because the Northampton fans think that pass from Pierre Bierry may have been forward. And I wonder, well, what's Nick Amashikeli doing? No, he's happy for the kick to take place from Luku. Here is Maxime Luku, he's pulled it, so he's missed the conversion, 8-point game. And it looks like, I mean, I've lost track of how many disallowed tries we've had today, but it looks like that one is definitely going to be given. Northampton 20, Bordeaux 28, as we edge towards the hour mark. What the Saints have in the tank, these battered and bruised men of Northampton, have they got something in them to rally against this Bordeaux machine? And surely they've got so little to give, Paul Grayson.
Well, those substitutions that Bordeaux have made, they've clearly come on with instructions to attack Northampton's breakdown, piled into the counter-ruck, force Northampton off the ball, bringing that energy from the subs, which is exactly what you want.
And Saints just don't have that freshness, do they? When 3 men went off in the first half injured, 2 of them in the first 5 minutes. And you can just tell from the chants and the songs from Bordeaux that it's not nervous from them, it's almost celebratory. 8 points in it though. A Northampton score changes the picture yet again. But if Bordeaux bag next, you wonder if that's the moment that the Champions Cup goes to the southwest of France for the first time. Ollie Slightholme, Langdon, their tired bodies out there as Mitchell tries to get away. He offloads to Langdon, it's just breaking up a little bit. Langdon, who was so touch and go for the game today with that injury. Mitchell back to Finn Smith. He kicks, but there's not much of a chase, is there, guys? And Retier will take it and has loads of time. The freedom of Cardiff, and he bangs a good kick downfield that finds grass. Will it run all the way dead though? Oh, it might, you know. It does. And that is a scrum all the way back.
Well, maybe that's the sort of break that Northampton need, because they are a shambles right now. And because they've been down to 14 men, bless them, they have been putting everything out there, but their pattern, their direction, I mean, just the classic example of what we've just seen there with Alex Mitchell shipping the ball onto Finn Smith to land it. I mean, they've got no idea where they're supposed to be going. And that's all down to fatigue. There's no other reason for it. They have put their heart and soul in. So just having a minute, possibly a bit of a breather, but good field position. This, we know, is where Northampton are very dangerous from set piece.
Yeah, if they can manage to concoct one of those 3 or 4 set plays that they've done so well in the first half, so well over the last couple of years, they can strike when they're in control of the ball.
Northampton scrum, platform for them. 35 metres, maybe 36 or 7 out, 15 in. Penalty Bordeaux. That power at the scrum, is it beginning to tell? You wonder if they do need to change the front row, Saints. As well as Manny Eoghan's done, he can't have much left to give. As well as Curtis Langdon has done. And I know the backup isn't quite as good. But do you take a player who might be a step below, but at least has fresh legs? That's what Phil Dowson has to weigh up as Bordeaux clear almost to the Northampton 22. Matt Dawson.
I think you've called it there, Jonesy. I think Northampton are making substitutions. Yeah, Davison going off. He's played really well today. He's put absolutely everything out there. But when you're down to 14 men, the front row are going to struggle. They've got so much coverage around the rucks, close to the rucks.
Elliot Miller-Mills, the Scotland international, is on as Moe Fana takes it above his head, and great burst through the tackle from the French international, of which there are loads dotted across the park for Bordeaux. And they drive on, and this could be it really for Saints. Can they hang on? They're 8 down, but Bordeaux are powering into Saints territory, and they have a penalty, and that could be another yellow card. They've already had a few. Penno's on a hat-trick just to stress, and he's on this right touchline. Can they get it to one of their danger men? Loose ball from Luku, but they're onto it. And they knock it on just with the try line begging, but back for the penalty.
We're leaning over from offside.
Let's check in with Sarah at the touchline. There have been changes, but I imagine Saints are looking to empty their whole bench now, Sarah.
Yeah, they've still got a couple sat down there, and ultimately it's just how long they can stretch out these replacements for, knowing how early they had to use them in that first half. But it is Bordeaux that are certainly the happier technical area. They're right in front of me here. I see the occasional smile. Even Adam Colburn, he was just having a little bit of a smile and a bounce to himself to the chanting going around the stadium. So yeah, another change just coming on for the Saints right now, into that straightened down, into that line-out area. I can see Craig Wright is running down right now. Also joining him as well is Angus Scott Young. So they're trying to make sure they use as many people as possible and get those fresh legs out there.
Yeah, necessary changes. They have emptied the tank and then some. 2 players going off, Curtis Langdon and Josh Kemeny. Langdon nowhere near fully fit to play an hour of a game this intensity. Fair credit to him.
Yeah, the likes of Coles and Langdon, who were, I think any other game they don't play, they've patched themselves up to play in the Champions Cup final and give everything. But this power, this speed, this skill, this panache of Bordeaux is asking serious questions, and they're looking to maul Northampton here. With an 8-point lead, they can take it out to perhaps an insurmountable 15 points into the final quarter of the Champions Cup final. Luca was caught, but he got it away. Advantage being played. Jalabert waits a kick. There's another penalty, and Nick Amishakeli is going to give yet another yellow card here, you'd imagine, Matt Dawson.
7 playing the 9, new law, you can't do that.
Again, unnecessary. The referee just stopping the clock there will maybe hear a chat.
It's a new law, you can't do. Captain.
Another unnecessary penalty, and it's just cost.
Fraser,
it's really
number
cost
of penalties
Northampton
increased in this area, which you can't do this. Next one in this area under pressure, gonna be a yellow card. What's that last one for? Playing the 9 after the maul, the player is bound. You can't play the 9 around the 1 meter. It's a new law. Please speak to them.
I was about to say that is a change in the law. Josh Kemeny's still on. Actually, I've misidentified him. When you're bound into the maul, you used to be able to break off when the 9 played the ball, and you were not in an offside position. They've changed that law now in the heat of battle when your brain is mush. It's a tough one to remember.
Jalabert prods it into the corner, no thought about going for the 3. They want 7. They want to see this Champions Cup final out. They want to bring the Champions Cup to Bordeaux for the first time ever. They go to the tail, beautiful drill. And Northampton are hanging on with their fingernails. Bordeaux up to the line. This Bordeaux machine, 2 metres out, 1 metre out, bodies everywhere. Have Saints managed just about to hold that up? They have. Extraordinary resilience from Northampton, and they get the scrum.
That's incredible. Incredible defence from Northampton. Not only to defend the rolling maul, but they challenged in the air. Bordeaux have beaten that challenge, got the ball down, and they're motoring. Bordeaux were motoring to that try line. Somehow Northampton have managed to turn Bordeaux players around and hold that maul up, get the scrum. That's an incredibly difficult defensive set, but it's not over by any stretch. Even now, just to get out of their 5 metre from 5 metres from their own line is so difficult, because the scrum's going to be on the retreat.
One more body's getting treatment, so a chance for us to go back to Wembley. What's happening there, Aaron Paul?
Sheffield United 1, Sunderland 0. Sunderland starting very bright in this second half, but just so wary of Sheffield United on the counter. First, Kiefer Moore seeing an effort blocked after making a really good run in towards the box from the halfway line. Rhian Brewster unable to convert from the edge of the area either, and so Reggie Slabrie looks to the bench, and Patrick Roberts is imminent for the Black Cat tour. One behind here as Lefay goes for a long range shot, can't quite get anything on it. Sheffield United 1, Sunderland 0.
Thanks a lot, Aaron. Back with Aaron Paul and Tommy Smith. As the second half unfolds at Wembley, yet to resume here, Paul Grayson. Getting out has been tough for Northampton, hasn't it?
Yeah, as in the second period, just stabilising your set piece, and then, as I touched on earlier, the amount of pressure that Bordeaux Bègles are putting on the Saints breakdown, which means you've got to put extra men in, you lose your shape. The opposition try line seems a long way away right now.
5 metres from their own line, Northampton. Alex Mitchell, who is just moving into that category of world class as a scrum half. Can he get his kick away and at least give Saints something in the final 16-17 minutes of this epic contest? 8 points in it, Northampton 20, Bordeaux 28. Saints' scrum is solid, but they've just got to get rid of it. They got a penalty. Oh, it started to wheel a bit. Maybe the first scrum penalty Northampton have got. They got a free kick earlier in the half. And Henry Pollock, instead of using it, kept it in. Good decision from the youngster. And now Finn Smith can take Saints nearish the halfway and give them some ball.
There was a pinch point there, wasn't there, Dawson, where it's like if he doesn't get it out now, they could be in real trouble. But amazing work from Northampton front row replacement.
Shows the value of those fresh legs as Northampton go to the tail. Kemmeny's been good in the line out. Pollock peels, finds Mitchell. What have they got? Lovely ball out the back from Hutchinson. Here's that timing, slight home to Freeman. Didn't quite click, but takes play almost up to the halfway line. There for Mitchell. Angus Scott Young is on with his headband, wearing number 20. Alex Mitchell to the left, driven on by Craig Wright, the youngster. He's lost it, and then lost the game by Jalabert. So Northampton get away with that one this time. If then lost, I think Saints lost it. Saints losing it, Bordeaux losing it, Saints losing it. But the referee decided that only Jalabert's was a knock-on. Saints have the scrum.
Yeah, Craig Wright wasn't. It was stripped. Jalabert got in there and nicked the ball off him, so no knock on there, and then fumbled it under pressure from Miller Mills, I think.
We're getting this contest.
Another chance though, this time Northampton on their own 10-metre line. 55 yards of pitch to their right to play into, an opportunity perhaps to launch from the scrum if they can get the ball away quick. Maybe one or two passes, then bang it down into that bottom right-hand corner, put El Barry under some pressure in the backfield.
Now we hear the Saints chant for the first time in a while, because they've had to soak up some serious Bordeaux pressure. Great atmosphere around Cardiff. One of the best days of the rugby calendar, this, the Champions Cup final. 8 points in it with 15 to go as Mitchell scoots to the right. Finn Smith, they're running it. Hutchinson loops, beautifully done. Out it goes to Freeman, who's the way? He gets it to the far side and slide home. Slide home up to the 22, just checked ever so slightly. Didn't quite burst onto it on his slide home, but it's good enough to take Saints almost up to the 22, and they've lost it again. You feel they've got to execute, haven't they, guys, if they can have a chance here. The views from Matt Dawson and Paul Grayson in a sec, but let's go back to Hampton. Ailey.
Where Celtic very nearly doubled their lead here. A beautiful build-up that resulted in an Arnie Engels shot that cannoned back off the post. Celtic making a triple change amongst them. James Forrest coming on, Celtic's most decorated player. He's looking for yet another trophy, and it is Celtic who lead the way in the Scottish Cup final. After 65 minutes, Aberdeen 0, Celtic 1.
Yeah, Northampton's success, maybe over the last couple of years, of course it's their style, it's the excitement, but it's one of their key attributes is accuracy in everything that they do. Their decision making, their handling, increasingly their defence over the last few months.
I understand you're tired.
Because of the tiredness, because of the enormity of the game and the pressure, there is just this lack of accuracy in this second half from Northampton, which is really costing them dear. Another example there when the ball goes down.
Bordeaux scrum, Sarah on the touchline.
Yeah, we can just see coming onto the field now, more ballast coming for Northampton, particularly at this scrum. Tariq Hafar is coming on, and he had a really long chat with Matt Ferguson, the Northampton scrum coach, before he came on. A real detailed chat with angles and arm movements, everything included, as he goes straight into the fire, into the cauldron, with 65 minutes played.
Huge scrum this, Sarah, isn't it? As Bordeaux feed, they'll be looking for the penalty, but no, Northampton hold firm. Jalabert kicks, he finds grass, but it sits up nicely for Tommy Freeman, who's having the season of his dreams, and he dummies and almost gets away. Freeman just buzzing with confidence over the 10-metre line. Nasty ball for Mitchell, but he took it, and then was the Northampton player taken out in the air? A few people thought so, including Paul Grayson and Matt Dawson.
He is in the air,
but he's given a scrum. I think this might be a penalty. You have heard Paris Jonker.
TMO will come in here.
That's a penalty, isn't it?
He's jumping in the air. Yeah, Marius. Listen, the pass was high, so he jumped in the air. You need to penalise that.
And to be fair to the referee, it was a split second. I can understand why he said play on. And that's good use of the TMO to come in and say, yeah, okay, we might have been 6 inches or a foot, but he was still in the air.
Another messy breakdown. Mitchell did well just to get the ball away, didn't he? So good bit of fortune for Northampton. Smith goes for the corner. That's a better strike. His last couple have looked tired. This time he's got them to within 15 metres, the Bordeaux Bagler line.
Hardly been down here in the second half, have they?
No. Well, I suppose I'd say on the back of that is that they haven't been in a position to really make Bordeaux think. And in the right at the beginning of this second half, when that little cheeky front peel and the try was disallowed, this is Northampton's strength if they can go through a little set piece.
They've won it at the line out. Mitchell inside. Ollie Slightholme. They're only 10 metres out or so. We'll be in Monaco shortly with Harry at the Grand Prix, but this is massive because Northampton trail by just 8 and are only about 10 metres out. Mitchell, they spin away. They're isolated there though, Northampton. Can they resource this ball? Yes, they can. Alex Coles, what a game he's having. Wearing 6 today, the England player. Driven on by the Northampton forwards, who are only 10 metres out. Mitchell now comes to the right. A good carry from the prop. And listen to the noise from the Northampton fans. They go again. Miller Mills, nice little tip. Angus Scott Young, 4 metres out now, Northampton. Alex Mitchell to the left. Coles, great ball. Fraser Dingwall's under the crossbar. Huge clear out from Northampton. And then Mitchell, he lost the ball. Referee happy. And Bordeaux do some brilliant spoiling and keep Northampton out. This whole stadium on a knife edge. Bordeaux are 5 metres from their own line, but just as Mitchell was perhaps about to give a try-scoring pass, he lost it. A kick from Bordeaux. This could end up anywhere. It's going to end up with Biel-Biarri, who got a boot to it. Litchfield's back there. Biel-Biarri, did he just nudge him? He's all over that ball now, Biel-Biarri. Might be a penalty to Bordeaux coming. The referee having the longest look. Look at those Saints bodies. They can barely run. But they do have it on the 22. They've got to just try and look after this ball. Mitchell is back. Finn Smith says to Pollock, carry. Pollock obliges. And he sets it up just outside his 22. Like we've said so many times today, breathless stuff in Cardiff, Grace.
So difficult. Bodies flying everywhere there. Dawes touched on it a moment ago. Accuracy, that's probably the only mistake Mitchell's made this game. Fumbling the ball when they were in the shadow of the opposition sticks.
Ollie Slightholme's got to leave that alone because the referee was telling him to. Just about did. Talafer's on in the second row. Make the back five of the scrum for Bordeaux, who still lead by 8. Kick from Luku. Tester for Mitchell's in the backfield up against Penno. Back it comes from Mitchell. He's on the ball but under serious pressure from Penno. Penalty to Bordeaux, and the fans behind the post erupt. Mitchell was in real difficulty under pressure from Penno. And do Bordeaux kick the points? Do they go for the corner? Surely now this is the moment that this obdurate Northampton dam starts to burst.
You could just see from the body language of Northampton, hands on knees, taking in whatever they possibly can, any amount of oxygen to give them the chance to defend this, because this isn't going to be intricate, is it? This is going to be are we looking at a little bit of foul play, more foul play?
Knocked on by Penno. Jumped into Mitchell.
Okay, I'm counting penalty, knock on.
It's a knock. You've got to laugh because I can't lost count of the times you think Northampton have done for, and they're still in the contest. Let's just check in with Harry at the F1 in Monaco if we can. Harry.
Yeah, in the closing stages of qualifying around the Principality, Monegasque cart's broken as Lando Norris stole pole position away from Charles Leclerc. Leclerc will start second ahead of championship leader Oscar Piastri. Hamilton and Verstappen the top 5, 78 laps ahead of us on Sunday. A step into the unknown too, with 2 mandatory pit stops introduced, but it's Lando Norris and McLaren with the advantage going into the duel in Formula One's crown. Lights out Sunday, 2 p.m. on 5 Live.
Yeah. 5 Live for the Grand Prix tomorrow at 2, and then 4 o'clock the final day of the Premier League season. All the build up with Mark Chapman from 12. Choice of listening: Forest Chelsea on 5 Live, Liverpool Palace on Sports Extra 2, Wolves Brentford Sports Extra 3. You will not miss a thing with us, your home of live sport. Penalty Northampton from the scrum. Okay, this front row have done a job, these guys who have come on. And now the question, Paul Grayson and Matt Dawson, can Northampton get anything to take this to a one-score game in the final 10?
9 minutes to go. First thing you've got to do is get control of the ball, which they've just done with a fantastic scrum. Bordeaux just too hungry to try and win a penalty against Northampton. Now they need to get themselves down the far end. Oh!
Well, the line-out was lost. Langdon, despite his injury, was pretty outstanding in the line-out, but Craig Wright's come on and missed his man. Mitchell against Penno again. Penno's lost it forward again. I'm sure he's lost it forward. Yeah, the referee's got it. Tommy Freeman wanted to go, but the referee had already called the scrum. They get out and then they can't keep the momentum up. Bordeaux fans don't like it.
Just they've found the space, just an overthrow from the young hooker. Kennedy couldn't get his fingertips to it, but there's the extra stress on resources. You got the guy behind the guy behind the guy, if you like, who's playing the game. Rugby incident for me, Penno and Mitchell in the air.
Well, they're looking at this, aren't they? They're looking at whether Mitchell took Penno out.
Potential foul play in the air.
We're looking at double-figured TMO interventions today.
Player has a realistic attempt to
it's almost gone too far.
Plays a player in the air.
But if it's a penalty, isn't it? Northampton 20, Bordeaux 28. Penny for Mitchell's thoughts. He's not had the easiest ruck ball. He's not going to have too many harder days at the office. I think he's been pretty outstanding.
Yeah, he pulled it.
Your verdict there, Matt Dawson?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think Mitch knew that he was beaten.
I think he
was in the wrong area, wrong spot. Penno goes a brilliant jumping line right in his eye line, right across the front.
Marius,
and Mitchell just in the last second just grabbed his shoulder.
As that number 9 grabs the player in the air, so it's a penalty. Yeah, I'm not seeing this as a yellow card.
So it is a penalty to Bordeaux. Let's see if we can quickly go to Aaron at Wembley. Aaron.
Sheffield United 1, Sunderland 0. Tyrese Campbell's first half goal still separating the sides. Andre Green has just forced a last-ditch save from Patterson in the Sunderland goal, while Sunderland absolutely raging. They never got free kick after Patrick Roberts was bundled over just outside the box. 20 to go. Sheffield United 1, Sunderland 0 in the Championship playoff final.
And there are 8 minutes to go in Cardiff. 8 points in it with 8 minutes to go. And the fact that Bordeaux can bring on Rowan Janssen van Rensburg, it's just that extra depth, isn't it? It's that extra power. Maybe that little bit of extra luck with the injuries too. That means that it's Bordeaux who are 8 points up and 8 minutes away from glory. They lose it again in the line-out. So Northampton win at the scrum, but can they get down the other end against this formidable Bordeaux side?
Coles has been massive today, hasn't
he?
Huge.
Yeah. He looked like a international veteran, hasn't he, today, amongst some very good players.
Just good decision making. I mean, it's easy to say, oh yeah, you're going up there to compete, but you could see he was watching where Bordeaux were trying to win the ball, and he just changed his angle. His movement was great, very athletic. He's been all over the pitch today, and another let off. But this is, I mean, you championship minutes, 7 minutes to go. Referee calls a
16, yeah.
Calls it another change.
Right, 2 is coming back on.
Right, so is that an HIA? Langdon's coming back on.
It's limping. Reverse the substitution.
So is that because Langdon went off for an HR because Craig Wright is injured? They can't just change.
Scrum.
By the way, Curtis Langdon is back on. Northampton have the scrum, but Matt Dawson is a number 9 yourself.
Horrible. If there are places on the pitch,
I mean, rather Alex Mitchell than any of us. He is.
And I know what Northampton have been consistent in trying to slightly get a left wheel and keep the ball in, but you're running. It's such high risk. Rather than getting the ball at the base, getting it up and away, because you know the shoves. There you go, the shoves coming on.
Yeah,
very good play.
Northampton do set it up. Fraser Dingwall, good carry. And they come to the left, and they're inside their own 22. Litchfield carrying penalty to Northampton. They're going to get maybe a chance here.
It's perfect from Northampton, because once you get away from the scrum that well, you immediately come back to the blind side, because the opposition front row, there's no way they can get back onside. It's the old sucker punch. Get it out to the 12, get on the front foot, run straight back into the traffic. They can't get onside. Brilliant.
Well, Langdon is on to throw into the line out. He's been pretty excellent with his darts, and he finds his man Kemeny. Mitchell into midfield. Henry Pollock on the sponsors logo takes it into the Bordeaux half, where Northampton have seldom been this second half. They've got to get something, as Dingwall makes a bustling little carry, makes a few metres. To the left they come. Hutchison, no look, finds Finn Smith in traffic. He's caught by Tamafoon, and that's a physical mismatch, but he punches well above his weight, does Finn Smith, the England 10. Alex Mitchell might be offside in the midfield there. Bordeaux, no. Referee happy. Tommy Freeman over to Slighthome. Will he put boot to ball? Yes, he will. BL Biarri's in the way. And did that come back off Slighthome, or is that going to be a line out to the Saints? Let's go to you, Sarah. You're metres away from this line out.
Yeah, that's right. So Curtis Langdon was able to come back on. I've had it confirmed by the technical officials. They're absolutely fine with that. Craig Wright has actually gone to receive some treatment down the tunnel as Langdon once again lines up. I can tell you everyone from Bordeaux is on their feet. Everyone in Northampton looking very nervous right now.
And Northampton's line out goes wrong. Langdon waits the tail to give them the best opportunity to attack, but it wasn't straight. They just needed to get something, a 3, to then have a go at Bordeaux with the clock ticking, but it looks as if Northampton are going to come up just short here. Northampton 20, Bordeaux 28. What's the time? 20 to 5. 5 o'clock kickoff in Lisbon. Arsenal, Barcelona, the Women's Champions League. Vicky Sparks and Izzy Christensen there for us. We'll be building up to that before 5. But this game's only got 4 minutes to run. And Paul Grayson and Matt Dawson. It's in Bordeaux's possession. They're almost there now, the French. Their fans can sense it.
Absolutely, all on the feet away to our right. Massive moment for them in the history of the club. They can last this last 5 minutes.
Jalabert, no nonsense, whacks it downfield. Tommy Freeman takes it, doesn't call the mark. Up against BL Biarri, a contest that will be on the international stage for many years to come. But Bordeaux are rabid in their intensity, spoiling Saints' ball. Saints do get a scrum, but the shape, the energy hasn't really been there, has it, from Northampton?
It's that 20-minute block. Those 2 yellow cards back to back. Was it Freeman and Prowse? It knocked the stuffing out of Northampton. And now, of course, when you need that little bit of spark, when you need that extra yard in the contact, or that extra yard in support, when Northampton are doing these intricate little plays, they're not quite there, therefore the accuracy is not there, therefore the Bordeaux defence are able to swallow it up. And a couple of times when Northampton have tried it, they've got isolated. Bordeaux win the ball, turnover back into their 22, as Jalabert's just done. They're not interested in playing any rugby. They're going to boot the leather off the ball for the next 3 minutes.
Crouch! Now or never for Saints. Oh, what's happening at Wembley? Aaron, you got a goal.
Equaliser out of nowhere for Sunderland, Chris. It's a fabulous ball down the middle from Patrick Roberts, who spots Elisa Mayenda right side of the box, and he smashes the ball in at the near post of the goalkeeper. Nothing he could have done about it, and Wembley is alive. 14 to go. Sheffield United 1, Sunderland 1.
Oh, going to the wire at Wembley, going to the wire here. If Northampton can make something happen, they won another scrum penalty. Fair play to their forwards, who keep keeping them in it. Mitchell to Hutchinson, short ball, Fraser Dingwall, the captain, has gone all day. Offload, Mitchell, Langdon, that go backwards? No, referee says it was forwards, and that is going to be that, isn't it? And the Bordeaux fans around us know it. Northampton's chance was to keep the ball, maybe work a penalty or a drop goal, and then have another go. But they've been 2 scores away for practically the whole of this second half, and just haven't been able to put enough pressure on Bordeaux down in their territory. Still just under 2 minutes to go, but you can tell from the expressions on the face of the Bordeaux fans who are flying their flags, from the Bordeaux players on the bench, the backroom staff, that they are under 2 minutes away from the biggest moment in their club's history.
As soon as the score got out to 8 points, everything is so clear for Bordeaux. Stick it into Northampton's half. box kick every time you turn over, attack the breakdown, make Saints play from distance, run the clock. They don't mind conceding a scrum because you're only going to another set piece. Still winning the territorial battle, and they've done it exactly right.
There's an international feel, an obvious international feel. You look in the programme, but there's an international feel about how Bordeaux are going through this game. And it's something actually that France have struggled to do, to see out knockout rugby and win those big games. But Bordeaux have completely shut up shop in a very, dare I say, positive manner and successful manner. It's been incredibly impressive. Not particularly pretty, but who cares if you're a Bordeaux fan?
Goal at Hampden, Ailey.
It is an equaliser for Aberdeen. The red to my left is absolutely ecstatic. They've come back into this game in the second half. Shayden Morris on the pitch for a matter of seconds. His cross spills by Schmeichel and it somehow spun behind him into the net. We have a cup final on our hands. Finally, it is Aberdeen 1, Celtic 1, 8 minutes to go.
Okay, 1-1 at Wembley, 1-1 at Hampden, but Bordeaux can see it out here as Penaud takes the crossfield kick. And they kick again down the line, Jalabert, but he's given it away to Finn Smith, who's going himself quickly. Finn Smith was Nuku back 10. Oh, he's thrown it away. Coles onto it, finds Langton, gets it away to Slightholme. Slightholme will kick and chase, but he's skewed it off the side of the boot. And that'll be it. Into the final minute. Saints don't have time to score twice, and the celebrations can start in earnest from the Bordeaux fans now.
There's a great example. In one phase of play, Bordeaux managed to kick the ball twice, forced Northampton to try and escape. Slightholme slices it into the stands, so they get to finish at their leisure.
They do. Maxime Lucu named man of the match. His opposite number, Alex Mitchell, who himself has been terrific, is now on the wing with Tom James on, and that's a sign of the collateral damage, particularly to this Northampton back line. Northampton have turned it over. They're never going to go away, are they? And Mitchell's in the line. He finds Tommy Freeman. There was space down the line if he'd kicked, but he probably didn't want to kick it away. 10 seconds left. There isn't time, is there, for Finn Smith to send over a massive drop goal, at least have another go. I wonder if he'll think that from 50 metres, but it's too far out. Too little, too late, sadly, for Northampton. But they're going right to the last, and Slightholme's got away. Still Ollie Slightholme. Oh, what a break from the England winger. Up to the 22 he goes. But the time is up, and 8 points is the gap. Northampton are beaten, but definitely not broken. They kick for Hutchinson. It's going to dribble out of play. Not quite to be for the Saints. Not quite to be for Northampton. But there's a new name on the Champions Cup. The French dominance of this competition continues. 5 in a row for France. A scuffle breaks out. These two teams who couldn't have given much more physically. But the Bordeaux flags fly proudly. This club only formed in 2006, a merger between Bordeaux and Bègles. They are the best team in Europe, and on the balance of the season and the balance of the final, they are deservedly the champions. But the Saints just wouldn't go away. Bordeaux have won the Champions Cup. Northampton 20, Bordeaux 28, the final score in Cardiff.
Neither of us want to say too much at the moment, Chris. I'm desperately disappointed for the people of Northampton, the fans. Incredible set of fans, a brilliant team, and have been a brilliant team for a few years now. But listen, sometimes you genuinely have to just nod to the opposition and say they are a better side. And yes, things didn't go your way with injuries, etc. But yeah, Bordeaux are a quality outfit. They know how to score tries. They know how to be physical. They know how to see the game out. No complaint. There can't be any complaints overall. We're all going to be upset as Northampton former players and fans, etc. But no complaints. Bordeaux thoroughly deserved their victory today, and more lessons for Northampton to take on board, and hopefully it won't be another 14 years until they're in a final.
Well, within the context of this tournament and the disparity of wage bills and squad sizes, and where Northampton have been, having won the Premiership last year, had their pack completely sliced in half. Lewis Ludlam, Courtney Laws, Dave Ribbons leaving, Alex Waller retiring, Alex Moon moving over to France. That's utter decimation really of what was a big, powerful league-winning pack. To be able to get through to this stage of the tournament, to beat Leicester away, to run Bordeaux, whose budget would be 4 times Northampton's, you'd assume, to run them close, and to only fade away at the end when they played 20 minutes with 14 men, run out of energy, as you said during the game, Dawes. They've made it a spectacular final. Every credit to them, the travelling support from Northampton. But Bordeaux stayed in the game, took their chances, and ultimately once they got ahead, they could put the squeeze, the chokehold on the Saints, and that was enough.
Delirious celebrations behind the post, the smoke going off. Those Bordeaux fans have been in awesome voice all day in Cardiff, and they're the champions. Steve, Bordeaux Begler become the first Bordeaux team to win the Champions Cup, and they win it for a 5th year in a row for France. Toulouse, La Rochelle, Toulouse, and now Bordeaux. Northampton 20, Bordeaux 28.
Real emotional moments for these Bordeaux players on the pitch in front of us, making history for Bordeaux. Some of the flags that have been waved around all around us were so close a couple of moments ago. You could feel the wind, feel the air off them. Down on the pitch, the stage is being constructed where Bordeaux will shortly receive the Champions Cup. Oh, Matt Dawson, I mean, so many Northampton players, and we're looking at them now in front of us. They're all absolutely out on their feet. They've given it everything they can. But if we're talking about the reason that they have lost this final, they were really good at times in that second half of getting themselves out of trouble, but then they would get back into it, and they just couldn't pressure Bordeaux.
Yeah, Northampton couldn't get themselves in any kind of position to stretch and stress Bordeaux, particularly in that second half. You know, the early disallowed try from Henry Pollock may have given Northampton that momentum to really press on, but it's so difficult because you're talking about an individual. But a real key moment for me was when Prowse got Simbin for an unnecessary high tackle. No pressure to make that tackle. Northampton had taken himself to the well with 14 men, 2 injuries, bad injuries early on, and then all of a sudden, not just 10 minutes you're digging in for, is 20 minutes. Now, Northampton still defended supremely for that 20-minute period, but there is a consequence to that, and the consequences come 65, 70 minutes, unless you are in the game, unless you are ahead, physically, mentally, you are in a very, very dark place. And Bordeaux knew that, and they just squeezed and squeezed and squeezed. Nothing fancy. They knew that as long as Northampton were outside of a score, that they would have to force their play, which Northampton had to do. Every time they got the ball, it was in their own 22. They're trying to fling it around, they're knocking the ball on, they're getting turned over, bomb back to their 5 metre for another line out or a penalty. It was like rinse and repeat, on and on and on, and it just took its toll.
The cameras here have just focused on some Bordeaux fans with a big banner with the face of Maxime Lucu, who's just down there being interviewed as well. He's just won player of the match. Actually, Paul Grayson, I was reading before the final that Lucu had sent pictures of Henry Pollock to some of his teammates to remind them, this is the guy you need to think about. They actually, bar a disallowed try, squeezed him out of the game. Yeah,
they did very much. You can see it in players' body language. Every time Pollock was anywhere near the ball, there was an acceleration in the actions of the Bordeaux Begler players, even just post-match there when there was a hint of perhaps a bit of a flare-up. Curtis Langdon and Jalibert having a disagreement. As soon as Pollock even got close to it, one of the subs came in and took him away. So they all had eyes on him. He had a quiet game by his own standards today, even though he had 2 disallowed tries, because he scored the one from the chip through in the first half as well, which would have been extraordinary. Which is great for him. The respect that you get when people single you out as a difference maker is, you know you're making a mark, so it's a badge of honour for him to be targeted. He's going to have to work out a way of having more influence on the game when that happens, as it inevitably will, week to week as he goes forward.
I mean, the Saints players couldn't have given any more.
I mean, let's make this absolutely crystal clear. Of course, some players made individual errors, and we've all made errors. Everyone makes errors. But you cannot, nobody can knock that Northampton side 1-23. I mean, they threw everything they could at them, but with key moments, key decisions, and the team of Bordeaux, they were just they were too good on the day.
Yeah, they didn't stay in their shell, certainly, which was what we were talking about before the final. Northampton Saints, they have given it everything, so no upset for them.